It's time. Good evening and welcome back to the Cheltenham Exchange and the first of our main previews for the 2024 festival, where we're going to be looking at the graded races, anything non-handicap here tonight. Handicaps will be done on a separate video to follow on tomorrow. So 8 days to go until it all kicks off. By the time this video comes out anyway. So we're recording here on Sunday evening. And we've got a full crew. We've got Matty Luke, Johnny Evans, Alex Galpin Deschamps, and Rainman Ian Rayner. So how are we all doing, folks? Good evening.
How are you?
Very good, thank you. Yes, everyone okay? Itching to get into this?
Yeah, Can't
let's
wait.
have it.
Let's have it. This is what we've been building towards all season. We're counting down. So yeah, we're not going to mess around with me waffling on to begin with. We may as well get stuck straight into the action because we've got 4 days worth of racing to look at. So yeah, if we're all set, boys, let's get stuck straight into it. And of course, the festival opener, the Supreme Novices Hurdle, kicks us off at 1:30 next Tuesday. What do we think here? Along the lines of Ballyburn, are we pretty much certain Ballyburn's running here now, lads?
I think
that way on Exchange, isn't it?
I think what's happened with the exchanges recently and the markets, I think that, well, I say sadly, for my wallet, sadly, but I think it explains it all, OJ. I think he'll be coming here, sadly.
How do you other boys feel about that? Were we mainly on Ballymore for Ballyburn, or was anybody?
I didn't have a bet on him for either race. Willie likes to win the opener, doesn't he? And let's be honest, it's his bet. Ballyburn's his best horse. He's going to send him here. I think if the others come here without Ballyburn and he went to Ballymore, he's not guaranteed to win the race, is he? I don't think.
Okay, so yeah, hot favourite at the moment. Alex, what are you thinking in here? Anything in particular, or are you on the fave? Or are you?
I think Ballyburn will win. Obviously, very sort of an obvious one to put up, but I think he's obviously just the best horse in the race. The current sort of softer conditions will only sort of help him, really. I mean, he's obviously a stare, isn't he? Really, and I can see him sort of going out from the front, making it a real test, and just one by one, I think they'll all come off the bridle, and he'll still be sort of cruising, sort of 2 out, won't he? And then just go on off up the hill. So yeah, nothing really for me to add other than that. Really, I think Ballyburn's just going to piss it. Really.
Johnny, you thinking the same?
I am, yes. Fully expect him to show up here now, like Ian says, with the exchanges, etc. He's looked good in his last 2 races after being beaten by Firefox. Firefox back down at 2 is a bit interesting. More than likely will probably place in the race. I wouldn't rule out Tully Hill, though, to be honest. I mean, he's not the most fluent of jumpers, but if Danny rides him, he's one of the best of judging the fractions from the front, isn't he? So if he can dictate, then he could get away on the top end there. So that's probably the most interesting part of the race, really. Is if he can get a bit of a soft lead and then leaves Ballyburn a few lengths behind. As for the others, I mean, Jericho de Repenay's obviously showed he does find a little bit off the bridle, but I don't think it was quite good enough the last day, was it? It was a bit John Bonnesque from last season. So, yeah, Ballyburn all the way. And, yeah, I've got him covered for this, so I'm quite happy.
There we go. That's good to hear. Good to hear. Ian, have you got anything for the coffee jar, if I'm betting now? Anything at a longer price that could get in the frame?
Not really. I echo basically what Johnny said. If it was somehow that Ballyburn doesn't go in this, I'd probably end up on Tully Hill as well. If he could brush up on his jumping a little bit more, I think he could be the one. But and saying about Jericho as well, I know he's won all his races, but visually he wasn't that impressive at I think where he won Doncaster, and obviously we've seen since then that Lump Sum of Fiercely Proud come out on the 1-2 in the Dovecote, but we saw yesterday Kaluki Kid, I think it was at Kelso, really disappointed. So that kind of did it frank the football. He didn't frank the form, but it's probably put a bit of a downer on it. But yeah, I think if for whatever reason, if Ballyburn doesn't go here, Tully will probably be the one for me. But I can only see Ballyburn winning. OJ.
Yeah. So general consensus, Matty, no more to add, I'm guessing.
No, it actually starting to take shape now. You know, when Appreciate It just fell into the Supreme race, and you know, was it Ballyadam he had behind him as well? He wasn't the best jumper, was he? Going into it, it's just fallen into place for Ballyburn to go here, hasn't he? Especially where he won at the Dublin Racing Festival. I think they have to come here. Touch on Johnny. Johnny's mentioned Firefox there. I think he beat him by a couple of lengths, did he? But he had race fitness on his side earlier in the season. Firefox is available at roundabout, I think it's 9-1 on Ante-Post market with Bet365. If you're going to wait till the day, I'd probably look at play Firefox without Ballyburn. And I am half tempted to throw him in at 11-10 in the place market, up to 3 places at the moment. I think Ballyburn's going to absolutely romp it, to be honest.
Lovely. So, Mr. Mullins to get off to a flyer. Surprise, surprise. We'll move swiftly along to the Arkle. And, shall I let Matty loose straight away, boys, or not? Or not?
Go on, Matty. Get stuck in.
Go on, Matty.
No, go on. You can all crack on first. You can all crack on first. Go on.
Okay, so, on to the Arkle Chase. Marine National still tops the market, but certainly not as strong as he was a few months ago. Found a 50 around 5-1. Let's say Tomp around the same price, and Gaelic Warrior still around 8-1 in the betting. Johnny, I'll come to you then. Could Gaelic Warrior run here?
I'm not so sure, to be honest with you, OJ. I'm sort of jury's out on him anyway, isn't it, at the moment? But I'd still prefer him in the Turners to here, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, like you say, the whole market turned on its head after the DRF, didn't it, with the defeat of Marine National. I don't think he was given the greatest ride, to be honest, there. I think in those sticky underfoot conditions, you needed to be quite handy, and it was a bit hard to pick up. So maybe on a bit better ground, he's probably the right favourite. I mean, it's just looking at the others, really. They're all a bit of a muchness to me. I can see a big run maybe from like the likes of JPR1 or Quilixios, perhaps. I mean, JPR1 should have a course win, shouldn't he? When he fell in November, when he was going to win. I think he'll have a little bit of a sniff, but I think Marine National still for me, but it's very tentative at this moment in time.
Yeah. Ian, do you forgive Marine for the what happened at the DRF?
I don't know. I was given a good quote today, OJ, from Alex Road to Cheltenham, and he said that Marine National, I hope he brings his inhaler because he'll need it for the weekend if he's shitty ground. But yeah, I think if it's soft like he was, I know we've had this discussion with he was one on soft or softer conditions previously. Leopardstown Panel was a bit gluey, but I agree with what Matty was saying. He didn't go a jot when I was there. So he sat third or fourth all the way across, and then just second last. Didn't find anything. I know our friend, the ginger one, won't be too happy, but I think there's more to it. I know he's had his wind up. He's got his tongue tie. Why is he still wearing his tongue tie? Obviously, still must be an issue. But if it's good to soft, I just think even still, I think he probably had the beaten. And if it comes up a bit softer, I'll probably lean more towards down the 50. I know Matty likes Illitet Tomp, but I can't see why he doesn't seem to do it at Cheltenham, but does at Leopardstown, and they're quite similar tracks in my eyes. But I don't know, it's weird. But Yeah, Marina was good to soft and down to 50. Mate.
Okay, lovely. Thank you, Ian. Alex, what are your thoughts?
I can pick plenty of holes in all of the ones at the top of the market, so I'm gonna go for an outsider, try and get some place money. And I quite fancy Master Chewy each way. He had some nice form behind Elixir de Nuts earlier in the season. I think he was only beaten a length and a half by him. He went and obviously won the Clarence House Chase. Last time out, he was fourth, I think it was, behind JPR1, only beaten sort of, I think it was about 7 or 8 lengths. He was giving £5 that day. And if you watch the race back, he got absolutely smashed on the first fence. I think it was Matata just came and just battered him, basically. So I think he'd have got a lot closer if that hadn't happened. I think a lot of these horses will be obviously going for the win and maybe sort of tire in the closing stages. Whereas I think Master Chewy is going to get a nice ride, and Nigel know he's not got any chance really of winning it. He'll be ridden to get some place money, and I think I fancy him at 33s to finish third. Really,
Lovely.
Each way 33s.
Top mark of 150 as well, Alex, which is quite high as well compared to some of these I've just looked at. Quite interesting.
Yeah, I think he's worth a go.
And do you think he'll run here, Al? Because he's still quite well handicapped, you would have thought.
I mean, it would be hard for him to run in a Grand Annual off 150. I mean, he could go there, but I'd rather go here. I think the top sort of 5 or 6, you could make you could sort of tear holes in them all, really, couldn't you? We're not going to sit here and do it because it would take too long. But yeah, there's plenty of holes in the top sort of 4 or 5, and I mean, there's horses that are priced shorter than him that aren't even going to run in the race. So I'd fancy him to get some nice each way money.
Lovely. I'm liking that, Alex. Just add a little look there. If I don't go non-runner, no bet, you can get 40s at Bet365. So
the thing is, we're playing for place money, OJ. So the difference between for the 33s and 40s when you work it out in the quarter of the odds or fifth of the odds, whatever you get, probably not that much. So yeah, I'd go for the 33s non-runner, no bet.
Yeah,
just in case.
Love that. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. Like that. He's itching to go here now. He's itching. He's getting a drink down him. Watch yourself, Ginger Joe. We're letting him loose. Matty, you're a bit of an Ante-Post fan, but
I am. Just to touch on what Alex said there about Master Chewy, you know, we both like that horse, and he has actually they've come out and said he is going for this race as well. I think he said they'd rather pick up place money in this than run him off 150 in the Grand Annual. Yeah, I will not be back in Marine National. I know he's drifted. He was excellent over hurdles last season, but the performance the last day was not good enough. He won grade 1s on soft ground over hurdles, and it takes more out of them over fences. I know that. However, but I'm not having it. The ground was the only issue when he was beaten at the Dublin Racing Festival. I watched the race back earlier. Granted, he didn't jump the best. He seemed to travel okay from what I could see, and then he just didn't find when they quickened after they'll go into the last. He just, I know they said the ground was tacky and gluey and hard to get stuck into, but I can't see it being good ground on day one of the festival unless it dries out dramatically. Johnny shared a stat the other day in the WhatsApp group, didn't he? He said that 47 horses have run in the Arkle in the last 10 years and lost their prep race, and 0 of them have come on and won the Arkle. Stats aren't everything, but that's quite a notable one. 2 I'm interested in, obviously, is Ante-Post, and the other one is Quilixios. Ante-Post is a horse, as you know, I'm a big fan of. I actually put him up for the Turners in the Ante-Post series. That bet looks dead now. He does still have an entry, but that's just clutching at straws that he's going to take that up. He owes me nothing after the Dublin Racing Festival win, though, at 5-1. It'll be a bet. The only thing that Ian pointed out is better form is seem to come around Leopardstown. He just doesn't seem to do it at Cheltenham, but he does look a lot better horse over fences than what he was hurdles. Calixos is the other, like I say, that caught my attention. He jumped well the last day at Nace in January. He's won 2 out of 3 chase starts, and the only loss was come at 3 Mile at Punchestown. Calixos' only entry for the festival, 10-1, could be some value there. As you'd imagine, he should shorten up upon declarations. Also has festival form in the Triumph back in 2021. So I will have a little bet on him, but my main play will be my boy, Ante-Post, to win the Arkle.
Love it. Like that, Matty. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so Johnny, you're still sort of sticking with Marine, and Ian similarly ground dependent. Alex
Just about.
has given us a nice each way option or place option on Master Chewy, and Matty, Ilete Tom Camp. All the way.
I mean, I know Ian touched on the tongue tie for Marine. Isn't that just to help with his head carriage, apparently? What Joe keeps banging on about that anyway. Saying he's got a high head carriage anyway, hasn't he? And that's probably getting more picked up on now because he has actually lost. Probably not, not fair to the horse in general, because no one sort of mentioned it when he was winning, was he? But yeah,
Ian?
No, I couldn't have him off the back of that run. I'd rather that, even if he touches 3-1, I'd rather let him go off without my money on. So
if everything going on with Constitution Hill, is anybody think? I saw Matty trying to wind Ginger up the other day, saying he should have left him in the champion hurdle.
Fair shout.
The fun and games of things, eh? Anyway, we won't go down that route. We will move swiftly along to
a wise
Champion Chase.
Man called Mr. Evans told me the top horses can go on any ground. So the wise man called Mr. Evans once told me the top horses can go on any ground.
That's how Mr. Evans.
To be a bit of an excuse over Marine with the softer ground, isn't it, over a fence?
Right, thank you. Champion hurdle time then. What is there to say? There's a lot of things up in the air at the moment, I guess.
Yeah, not a lot about the race.
Yeah. So, did anybody foresee this at this moment?
Certainly didn't.
Ian, you're the Hendo man on the ground. Have you got any updates for us? Any breaking updates on the health of Constitution Hill?
But they've said the mucus that he had, all the antibiotics have worked, so that seems to be cleared. But they're now worried about. I think there was an update on Friday about a blood test. They're a bit concerned about his bloods, so we should know more next week. Oh, yeah, next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, to see the outcome of that. I reckon they'll declare him on the Sunday when the decks get confirmed. But it wouldn't shock me if they pulled him out on the day. I reckon it could be that close. To be honest, I know it'll piss everyone off, but I could just see Mr. Henderson. That's the sort of thing he would do potentially. But yeah, I don't think he'll run. Personally,
you don't?
No.
Anybody think it's all a facade and he will run?
Don't think it's a facade. I mean, things like this have happened to the Henderson yard before, haven't they? Stuff happening to horses before the festival, and then he's managed to get them there and they've won. He's an absolute freak of a horse, isn't he? The only thing is, Nick, he's not going to run him if he's 90% fit. If he's 90% fit, he probably, takes a beating. I was watching one of the previews the other night. Was it Shark that said it? He said he could run him now, and if he goes and wins, it's great. And if he goes and runs and he loses, he's already got the excuse there that, So, but, it's got to be worrying, seeing him come back at Kempton with that way he was breathing and that coming down after just a little bit of work.
You can hear it.
If he isn't right, and fair play, I know everyone says Cheltenham is everything, but he has got to look after the horse, hasn't he, first and foremost?
Absolutely, 100%. And
I just think it's a shame that Lossiemouth isn't coming to the champion hurdle. I think she'd have had a bang chance in this, especially the way she performed the last day in the international hurdle. Yeah.
And Mr. Mullins said that it was take it nice and easy, didn't he?
Yeah, which is fair because she is only just coming out of a juvenile campaign, isn't she? So he said he'll probably go for that next year with her.
Yeah. Yeah. And of course, Mr. Henderson is only looking after the best of Constitution Hill health.
At the end of the day, they're trainers. They know a lot more than what we do. We're just punters, aren't we? At the end of the day.
Absolutely. So, Johnny, if Constitution Hill doesn't run, does Stateman walk this or?
Yeah, I'd be pretty certain he did, to be fair. I mean, like, I'm quite a big fan of the horse, but he's obviously just bumps into the same one over and over again, doesn't he? But, yeah, I'm 50-50 at the moment whether Constitution Hill will run or not, to be honest. And it probably will be a very, very late decision. I hope Gordon will run Pied Piper in this, so for each way value, because, you know, I think he'd have a chance of placing, especially if Constitution Hill doesn't run. Yeah, I mean, if he's fit and well, Constitution Hill wins. If not, then Stateman wins. Quite simple as that, really.
Okay, thank you, Johnny. Alex? Similarly?
At this stage, I'd be shocked if Constitution Hill runs, is the way I see it. Because if he runs, they're not 100% sure he's going to be totally back to his best, do they? And they won't want to run him if he's not 100% and then bottom him out for the rest of the season. So I think they'll be ultra cautious and maybe try and do Aintree and Punchestown if they can. That's what I think they might try and do. I'd be shocked if he runs. And then, I mean, it probably becomes a no betting race for me then. I think Stateman's too short. And then, I mean, there's a big group of horses that are below him in the betting where you don't even know if they're going to run. So I don't think realistically I can really put anything up. But yeah, I just don't think Constitution Hill will run.
Okay then, so a bit devil's advocate. If Constitution Hill doesn't run, do you think the field could be bigger?
Probably, yeah.
We have talked about a field of maybe 4 or 5 turning up with Constitution Hill, but do you think the fact that there's more of a chance for the places for the rest of the field that we could see a slightly
possibly,
bigger field?
Like Johnny said, I think you might see like a Pied Piper then running in the race. There's talk that Irish Point might go for the race if obviously Constitution Hill's out. Yeah, I mean, I think you might see maybe 2 or 3 more runners if Constitution Hill's not in there, because I mean, there's obviously a bit more prize money then to go around to some of the other horses. So it might make more sense to finish 3rd or 4th in the champion hurdle rather than finishing 5th or 6th in the county.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, fellas. Well, there's not too much more we can say about that. It's watch this space.
The only thing I'll add, OJ, if anyone wanted to have a small
Matty.
stakes play, is I know you and Alex spoke about it earlier in the season, and it's Zana here. I know he's gone over fences the last 2 runs late in this season, and Alex said before off camera, like, it'd be a waste of a novice campaign, but he started off over hurdles this season. He's still got the champion hurdle entry. With all this going on, they might just think there's place money there. He finished 3rd last year, didn't he, behind Constitution Hill and Stateman. If you actually go in the Ante-Post market on I think it's Bet365, they're 66 to 1 paying 3 places. It might be worth small stakes just to take that punt.
Well, he was one of the 4 or 5 that I had thought would definitely go here before that first entry over fences, whenever it was, January time, I'm guessing. So,
but then things can change. Look how it's changed now. They might revert back. You just don't know.
Yeah, and like you say, the form of what he's done, it's another one of those that's always bumped into 1 or 2, but he's pretty consistent round here, isn't he? So, yeah, nice one, Matty. That could be worth a little tinker. Okay, so we're happy. Champion hurdle done. Watch this space, Ian. Ian will have the breaking news from Hendo, I'm sure.
I'll have him on the hotline.
Okay.
Put him through.
Speed dial. Okay. So what have we got now? Is it the Mares Hurdle? David Nicholson Mares Hurdle. which is, of course, at 4:10, I think.
Yep.
Next Tuesday. Matty has already touched on the fact that bit gutted that Lossiemouth is unlikely to go champion hurdle now, where she would be getting £7. Does she just walk this?
She's all the rage here, isn't she? And she's rightly so after the winning the international hurdle in January, I suppose. If it's run at a crawl, I think she'll have too much speed at the end of the race. Something definitely needs to make it a good clip, and probably something needs to take it up about 2 out and try and stretch out her stamina, because she's not ran over 2 miles before, has she? Johnny's keen on Love Envoy being overpriced, and I agree. If it comes up soft on day one, no doubt she'll be supported in the market. I've been keen on Gala Marceau going into this year. Was happy with a return run at Doncaster. Obviously not so much the last day. I did rewatch a run though, which was on the 21st of February in Punchestown earlier. I find it strange that Townend was on board while Danny rode a different horse in the race, because Danny always rides Gala Marceau. With that said, Townend never seemed to use his whip once from what I saw. I'm willing to draw a line through that, and maybe just that they wanted to get some extra track work into him before the festival. With Danny back on at the festival, I'll be willing to take a chance at 16-1 on Gala Marceau.
Sticking Gala Marceau, lovely. That's a nice juicy price there, Matty. Thank you very much, Alex. On to you, sir.
I'll probably wait for the day, and I'll hope that there's a market on betting without the favourite, and I'll be getting stuck in on Marie's Rock. I think I know a lot of people have been crabbing her form this year, but I mean she was 4th in the long distance hurdle behind Paisley Park and Dasher Drasher, which I mean they're both very solid sort of 160 horses, aren't they? And then a second on, was it New Year's Day? Yeah, New Year's Day in the rail keel behind Bob Ollinger. I thought that was an excellent run. I mean, Bob Ollinger went after that and finished second to Stateman, didn't he, at the DRF? The horse in third, Brewing Up a Storm, he's like a 149 rated horse. And he ran again this weekend and he finished second. He wasn't beaten far by a horse that's like clearly really well handicapped, running off like 10 stone 4. And then Strong Leader was 4th that day. And he ran, I mean, he was sort of an eye catcher at the finish in the Cleve hurdle as well. He was one of the ones that are finishing fastest. So I think that form's pretty strong. I know that she's been back over 3 miles since, but I don't think she really stays 3 miles. I think just her class sort of got her over the line there. And I think the step back to sort of 2.5 is sort of well in a bag. And I think take out Lossie, and I think she's the best of the rest. So, yeah, I'll have a few quid on her.
Lovely. And she'll go on pretty much any ground, I'm guessing, as well, Al. So
yeah, I mean, she's won on all types of ground. So, I mean, she's been up to 3 miles this year. So, I mean, if it did come up pretty soft, running at a 2.5, I wouldn't be concerned. You know, she stays further. So, yeah, I've got no concerns with her at all.
Lovely. Thank you, Alex. Marie's Rock. Yeah, Johnny, Matty touched on Love Envoy there for you.
Yeah, I mean, Matty said quite a lot of what I was going to say, to be honest. I think Lossie's obviously rightful favourite. You know, the distance is a little bit of a concern, but she does look the best horse in the race. And if they don't go too quick, then I think she'll just pick them all up late on and cruise away. But Love Envoy, yeah, going back to her, I think she's the overpriced each way in the race by, surely. I mean, she's finished second to Honeysuckle in it last year. All right, she's not been at her best the first 2 runs this year, but they were over inadequate distance. I just think she's probably been primed for this race. She's stepped back up in trip, and she'll probably run a solid race. You got Astro Diamond as well, which no one's mentioned. I mean, the concern there is that she's never been to Cheltenham before, so I'm not sure what she'll sort of dish up. And then Gala as well, like Matty said. She's back on track. She could run a good race as well, but I'd go Lossie for the win and Love Envoy for the place.
Lovely. Liking that, Johnny. Thank you. Ian, go on, mate. What are your thoughts?
No, not much to say. I was in the camp. I wasn't sure that Lossiemouth would stay, but so she was very, very impressive at the the international hurdle that Matty said. Won by 9 lengths on the Billy Idol, as they say, beating Love Envoy. I would say I would probably potentially do the TriCast. I know it's quite obvious, but I'll probably do Lottie Mouth first, Astro second, Love Envoy third for me. That'd probably be the sort of bet. There's not much else you can do, to be honest.
Simple as that.
What?
Ian, you know there's a Henderson horse in this race, don't you?
Oh, well, yeah, I don't know. I don't think she'll feature in this one. Oh, well, she'll run. But I don't think she'll be in the top 3, to be honest. But they would probably be Lottie Mouth will win. But
he's fallen out of love with Marie.
I think
Alex is fuming here.
I know. No, I'll go for the TriCast.
Yeah. Just go. Did you actually say go for the simple option, the TriCast?
Yeah.
Don't try and find just a winner. Find the second and third. Simple option, Ian.
They're gonna have to go a good. They're gonna have to go a really good clip from the front, aren't they, to test their stamina? If they go crawl and then try and quicken, she's just gonna pick them up, isn't she?
Power away.
They're gonna have to go hard from the outset.
And then we'll be liking her for champion hurdle next year.
Yeah.
Are anybody gonna make any statements like, she could be a future honeysuckle? Or we're getting way ahead of ourselves there.
Any power?
Yes, indeed. Okay, so
Didn't Annie fall in the mare's hurdle?
Oh,
that could bring back a lot of bad memories for a lot of
Thanks
viewers.
for that, Matty.
Yeah, Matty's just lost us 3,000 subscribers.
Ian was the one that said another round of Annie Power.
I meant as he winning the champion hurdle.
Okay, thank you, fellas. So, we're all of the general consensus that Lossie's probably the mare to beat, but at some nice prices. Johnny's Love Envoy around 16s currently in the open market, as well, I've got open here. Matty sticking with Gallimar, so around 20s currently. Alex Marie's Rock, also similar price-ish, 16 to 1. And Ian's bottled it and gone the easy bet route by
Giving the TriCast.
For the TriCast.
It's hard to pick one winner at Cheltenham, and he's going for the first 3 in a race. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, if he lands it, then be a nice way to wrap up day 1, Ian.
Very nice.
Right. Love that. Okay, so we move on to day 2.
No,
We're not doing the National Hunt Chase.
Oh, sugar. Sorry. No, we don't.
No, you've had some time off, OJ, but come on. You've not had as long as me off.
Better top up my wine here. National Hunt Chase. Sorry, fellas. Huge apologies. Who hasn't kicked us off on any race yet? Alex. I think
I'll happily get stuck in though.
I think this is one to come to you.
Yeah, I've really liked Salvador Ziggy all season. It's been that sort of typical Gordon plot in some of the way that he's raced him, get him loads of experience over the summer, run him sort of last time, sort of October, November time, and then put him away, keep him fresh. And while they're all sort of beating each other, he's sat sort of chilling out in his box. And that's been sort of the plan. I absolutely cannot have Embassy Gardens. Sorry, Scotty Rudderham, but he is a dog. Corbett's Cross can't jump, and then you go below that, and half the horses aren't even going to go in the race. So Ziggy for me, I'm getting stuck in.
And to be fair, you've been saying that from September last year.
Earlier than that, OJ. I've been well on the bus.
In terms of this season, I think it was one of your horses to follow for the season, wasn't it? Wasn't he, Ziggy?
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely. So, yeah. And you weren't too put off by the American Adventure
No, they said he had a bad reaction to some of the medication he was on over there, and he'd had a lot of races within a very short period of time before that as well. So I think a combination of the two, he just cut out, didn't he? And yeah, he's had his feet up since then. He's probably been sat watching all the soap operas in his box, and yeah, he's ready to go.
Lovely, Johnny.
Yeah, not a race I'm really that confident in this year, like I was last year with a winner, obviously, just to remind you. But yeah, I mean, if my pocket was talking, I'd want Ziggy to win as well. But he was disappointing in that race in America. But he's not been seen since, which could be a concern. But they did it last year as well, didn't it? And he came second in a Pertemps after a long layoff. So, maybe that isn't an issue. Like Alex, I haven't been a big fan of Embassy Gardens, but I was actually impressed with him last time out. And he looks to have a pretty good chance in this now. But I'm going to actually side with Corbett's Cross. And I don't know why, but it's just a feeling with him. I'm just hoping he's like the class angle in the race. Obviously, his jumping is a little bit scruffy. Can improve, hopefully. And he'll have a good pilot on, probably in Derek O'Connor. So Degsy up is, that makes a difference. It's not one for me to get stuck into at the moment, but I'll just about side with Corbett's Cross.
Lovely. Thank you, Johnny. Ian?
Yeah, I echo what Alex said. So Salvador Ziggy was one of my Ante-Post picks during our videos this season. He did have a good run behind Desert Moor House, I think, in the Kerry National, but I think he gave Desert Moor House, was it £10 that day? Only three and a quarter lengths behind. And as the guy said, not really concerned. He's done it with Galvin in the past. Seemed to have a few runs earlier in the year and then gets put away. So I'll be happy with that. I do think Embassy Gardens will be the threat. I know what the guys are saying, but to be honest, just had a quick look at what else could be in it. I don't know if I'm not sure if Free Car Bragg will go here. I don't think Nick Rocket will go here. Alex said about Henry's Friend could be an interesting one.
That wasn't me.
Was it not?
I was going to say Alex looked shocked then.
No, he don't. I thought he was talking about Henry's Friend. I thought it could be. He had a.
It was this little knobhead down here.
Yeah,
you're chatting shitey in.
I must be. He had a quite good win at Ascot. But yeah, other than that, there's not a great deal, to be honest. I'm not even sure about Florian Porter, if he'll stay the trip. But yeah, Ziggy all the way for me.
Wasn't there talk the other day? Didn't Mr. Cromwell say something the other day that he was tempted to take Florian Porter back in the Stayers hurdle again? Thought I read something like that.
Probably had more of a chance in that, but
he made a case for him to go back over hurdles on a preview the other night.
Okay, could be interesting. One for us to come on to. Go on then, Matty. So was it you who?
Yeah, well, fucking that knobhead in the top corner over there. He's fucking just follow my thunder, hasn't he? Knobhead.
Hey, top left corner, Matty. Top left corner.
Top left, yeah.
Ian had never heard of the horse.
Wait, Nardell in the top left.
He'd never heard of it until 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I've looked away from the market principles this afternoon, and I've spent some time rewatching a horse last 3 chase runs. He's improved with each start. He always seems to be involved in close finishes, though. I think that's just to him idling when he hits the front, but he does seem to find for pressure and battles all the way to the line. Jumping actually improves as they quicken at the business end of races. And that's Henry's Friend. Not saying I'm going to go balls deep on the race, however, I will have a bet on him. Where, in all honesty, we've got no idea if any of them will stay the 3 mile 6 at this moment in time, do we? I'm going what I've seen in the chase start so far. There could be more improvements to come over a longer trip. At 16-1, and you can get 48s on the exchanges. It's his only entry, so hopefully be declared. He'd be the one I'd be having a punt on. To touch on Alex's and Johnny mentioning Embassy Gardens, I'm in their camp. I can't have him. Yeah, I watched his race as well back earlier on. He did jump really well, and he pulled clear of the line. But if he was that good, then surely Paul Townend would want him in the Browns advisory, because at the moment it doesn't look like he's going to have a ride in it, does he? Because Mark Walsh will be on fat to file. think Corbett's Cross is coming here because they're probably expecting it to be a small field, which will probably help him as well. He should have a strong chance, like Johnny said. But I'm going to take a little punt on Henry's friend after watching the way he ran earlier in the day today. He just seems to keep finding whenever he's asked.
I like that. I like that, Matty. And that yard couldn't be in any better form, could it, at the moment? Ben Pauling yard. I mean, they're just smashing everything. Am I right? I think.
Yeah, he's going well, the yard, yeah.
Let's
He actually got headed in his last race at Ascot and he fought back and got back up. I quite like that in an attitude for a national home chase. So, yeah, I'll take a punt.
The Ben Pauling's on 27% strike rate, OJ, over the last 2 weeks. 27%.
Yeah, pretty decent. So they're running okay. We can be confident of that. Lovely. Thank you for that one, Matty. So a nice, that's the sort of price that I'm liking. Henry's friend for Matty after an afternoon of studying, coming to that conclusion, and then Ian announcing it for Matty.
Calling me Alex. Or Alex, the poor fucker, getting compared to me.
Sorry for insulting you, Matty.
Ian's got him in a tricast.
Yeah, tricast.
Yeah.
Diggy Embassy Gardens and Henry. There's your three.
Simple as that.
Tricast, aren't they, Ian?
Brilliant.
So, yeah, Alex and Ian, Salvador Ziggy, all season, all the way on the train. And Johnny's sticking with Corbett's Cross, who, of course, yeah, I mean,
sensitive,
highly unfortunate at the festival last year with what went on. So, thank you, chaps. And now it is time to move on to day two, I believe. If we can get a decent host on one day, we'll be smashing this. Okay, so day two, and the Bingham Novices hurdle to kick us off, obviously, with what we were talking about with the Supreme market and so on, and it's looking like Ballyburn is probably going to the Supreme now. Johnny, what are you thinking here with the Ballymore, as it was previously known now? I know you Captain Teague was one on your radar very early on in the season.
I think without Ballyburn, this race lacks quite a bit of depth, to be perfectly honest with you, and it's very, very open. I'd still be quite interested in Captain Teague if he comes here, or the Albert Bartlett. Not strongly but I think he'd have a place chance. Not sure on Mystical Power if he comes here. I know he's unbeaten, but I worry a little bit about his jumping. And if he does come here, there's more fences to jump, isn't there? So, more hurdles to jump. So, I'm not sure. I'm not really sure about him. I've not really taken to him. I'd probably have it down between Slade Steel and Il Antarctique. I'm going to side with Slade Steel just because of his form, purely behind Ballyburn. I thought that was a good run, good piece of form. He looked like the step up in trip would probably suit him, or step back up in trip would suit him. So I'll probably stick with Slade Steel in this one, just about over Il Antarctique.
Lovely. Slade Steel for Johnny. Ian, what are you thinking, boss man?
Same for me, if I'm honest. I think Ruby Walsh said it all when he said at the DRF that potentially you could have the Supreme winner and the Ballymore or Bearing Bingham winner in that race. But yeah, I would tend to agree. One I did like the look of, but I think sadly he's not going to go. Was a Donnelly horse called Billy Ricky Dicky, currently 12-1. Was very impressive and very eye-catching at his run at Punchestown at the end of January on heavy ground. But I think he's a bit and ahhing at the minute, Mr. Mullin. So whether he sends it to like the Dairy House or maybe go to Punchestown, but I'm as for some of the others, I'm not sure. That Lantigue just seems to not choke. That's probably not the right word. Just doesn't seem to has a bit of a soft centre. Doesn't really seem to see out his races. I'm not sure about Predator's Gold either. But yeah, I'll probably go with Slade Steel, and if he does run, I'll go Billy Ricky Dicky each way.
Thank you, Ian. Matty, what are you thinking here, mate?
Well, now Ballyburn looks to be going supreme. It comes a lot more appetising betting heat, to be honest. I had a quick look through earlier on, and there's two that I quite like. One of them would be a small stakes play at prices, and that is Peaky Boy. I think he's about 40-1. Most firms, he ran in Wallier on New Year's Day for the Henderson Yard when having his first run since November 22, when he was trained by Michael Scudamore. I think I read on Twitter the other day from the owner that they're actually going to take up the run here as well. You can actually get 270s on the exchanges, OJ, if you want to have a couple of quid on.
Go on,
Jeez, I can just use the coppers.
The one I fancy stronger though is Predator's Gold for Mullins and Gigginstown. I was against him at the Dublin Racing Festival, if you remember from the preview, but I actually rewatched that race in the Nathaniel Lacey earlier on, and I have to say I was actually impressed with his run. And I think the first three home will actually be very good in time. He travelled and jumped well overall, and he battled all the way to the line, beaten over a length by Dancing City, wasn't it? And he's also highly fancied for the Albert Bartlett. Predator's Gold's around about 10-1 at the moment, and I think he'll go close in this. He looks made for it.
Lovely. Predator's Gold for Matty. And Alex, what are you thinking in here, mate?
Agree with the boys. I can't have it. Il Atlantique. I think he's been beaten 4 times when he's traded at a price of like 1.2, 1.3 in running. So he just gets sick as soon as he gets near the front. So I think I'll go with the same as Matty. I quite like the look of Predator's Gold. Keep it short and sweet.
Ooh, lovely. Liking that. So we've got a split vote between Predator's Gold and Slade Steel. Nobody is reading Tommy wrong. That was it. Nace or something? Was it Nace where he beat Il Atlantique?
I think I saw that he might be going for the Bartlett. Yeah.
I think
he'll go for the
Bartlett.
Yeah.
Too well handicapped.
Am I right in thinking that Il Atlantique had to make most of the donkey work that day as well, though, Johnny? Is that right?
Yeah, he did actually. Yeah, he took
that wouldn't have suited him at all, would it? I think for him to have a chance, he needs to be delivered. He's a bit like that abracadabra sauce. He needs to be delivered like late on. You know?
Yeah, it was a long way to hit for home there, I thought. So, yeah, he still ran well.
Yeah. Lovely. All right. Thank you, chap. So, split vote between Slade Steel and Predator's Gold. And we could do a nice little forecast there, Ian. Simple as.
Or TriCast.
Yeah.
Okay. So we move on to the Brown Advisory Novices Chase. Over 3 mile. Who do we need to come to? Ian, I don't think you've kicked us off on any of you yet. I'm not sure.
No, mine would be short and sweet again. I think Factor Foul will go here and win here. I think Willie Mullins confirmed it in his Sporting Life column. Saying about the win when he beat Gaelic Warrior, I think he went off like a scalded cat, to be honest. I know Factor Foul's jumping was very good. And I think he was very impressive in the Rising Star at Christmas when he kept on strongly and won by 17 lengths. He would be my play. I can see some of the others like Stay Away Faye and Monty Star quite impressive. The lads might be able to tell. I'm not sure if is Broadway Boy potentially coming here. He could be quite interesting.
50-50 between here and the NHC.
Yeah,
it's been matched a lot shorter on the National Hunt Chase earlier on.
Yeah, I think he's going there.
Yeah, so he could be, if he does come here, he could be quite interesting at 25-1. But I think it'd be nothing too. Well, it is a bit obvious, OJ, but I think it'd be Factor Foul for me.
Factor Foul for Ian, thank you. Yeah, just looking there, Broadway Boy. I mean, I've just got Bet 365 open without non-runner, no bet, and I think he's 12s in the National Hunt and 4s for the Browns. So it would kind of suggest that that's maybe the route
Okay.
we're going. Okay, thank you, Ian. Johnny, I'm guessing this is a race you may have a bit of interest in.
Yeah,
Or
it's a little
through
bit
the
hot and
season,
head,
you may have.
Yeah, a little bit hot and head, isn't it? Because I mean, I really like Stay Away Faye and hope he wins purely because I put him up at the start of the season. And obviously, I've already sort of laid into him quite early on at a good price. But just looking factor file in that last race at the DRF, I know it was a Mickey Mouse race, but he just really looked a good horse. He travels, jumps, and I think he's really going to take some beating in this. And he's the one I'd probably put up for win purposes. But Stay Away Faye's obviously, got a good chance still. Loves the course, won here before. Finds off the bridle, which is obviously always useful. So hopefully he can sort of be up there as well. Monty Star's the other one of sort of interest, maybe fill a place perhaps. But the rest of them, they don't really sort of interest me at all. But I'd go for factor file, but I really want Stay Away Faye to win.
Yeah. Which, again, like you say, it's been a season-long interest in Stay Away Faye, to be fair to you.
Yeah.
Speaking of Stay Away Faye, then, Matty, are you still holding out some kind of hope for Giovinco here, or
No?
I
I think he's going to get rerouted to the Ultima, isn't it? I think Lucian said the other day, if Appleway doesn't get in, that's where he'll run. I don't think we're going to have the biggest of field here. However, I do think this could end up being one of the races of the festival because I think it's going to be very, very hotly contested. You can make a solid case for the majority of them. And it looks like Factor File is going to turn up here instead of the easier race of the Turners. So credit to them for that. Stay Away Faye is very good. I would have loved to have seen him in the National Hunt Chase as he's got stamina in abundance. One that I want to see supplemented for this race is one of my favourite horses, and it is American Mike. He has always looked like a 3-mile chaser. He was impressive on his debut in November when beating Factor File by 3 lengths over 2-4 at Navan. Disappointed against Gaelic Warrior at Limerick over 2 mile free in December. And then he bounced right back when up to 3 mile, which I feel is the correct trip for him last time out. Back at Navan on the February the 11th. He looks made for this race. And it could be heart-wounded head, but he's definitely a much better chaser than he hurdler. I'm hoping that he is supplemented, and he would be my selection. If he isn't, I'll just sit back, mate, and enjoy the race because I think it'll be a really, really hotly contested race. To be fair, with only a small field.
Lovely. Do you think what sort of chances do you reckon of being supplemented? Is that a decent season?
Gordon spoke about it, hasn't he? He has mentioned it that he was impressed the way he stayed the last day. I know he beat Factor File on his Chase debut. It was his first run out of bumpers, wasn't it? But there's nothing in my view. He might as well go and take it up. I think he's always looked like a 3-mile chaser, and go and run him in the race.
Love that. There's one for you to keep an eye on there, folks. Alex, coming to you, sir.
If Broadway Boy goes for this, I'll be backing him because I think he could go for in the front. He can make it a real test, and it could be really hard for something to go past him as he's made it all year. You can sort of draw a line completely through his last run at Warwick. He scoped really badly after that, so yeah, just draw a line through that. But if he doesn't go, then I think Stay Away Faye will beat Factor File. I think he's got the best form. I mean, you look back to that run on Trials Day where they upped him into sort of open company. He finished just behind sort of Capitano, Real Wacker, beat Ahoy Senor. I mean, that was a real test, and that was to me that was like a real learning experience. He'd have learned a lot more from that than what Factor File would have learned from running around the DRF with Gaelic Warrior, who clearly couldn't be bothered on the day. I think Factor File has been very much, to me, overestimated based on his form. I mean, he got beaten by American Mike first time out. Second time out, he raced against Zanahir, and Zanahir jumped like an absolute fridge that day. And then third time out, Gaelic Warrior basically couldn't be asked. So I think he's way too short based on what he's done. And I think Stay Away Faye, a bigger price when he's got better form in the book, I think he's a really good bet personally.
I like that. I like
Right.
that. I got to be honest. I think I said I found it a really bold move to run him in that race on trials day. I thought it was.
Do you
I was a
think they
bit
ran him there?
surprised.
If he won, they'd go the Gold Cup, and if he didn't, they could always fall back on this.
I don't think they're ever going to go Gold Cup with him this year. I think it was just it's a much better learning experience running in a race like that than going around somewhere at 1 to 5 at, like, I don't know, Exeter or somewhere like that in a novice race where all the other novices are going to be put off running against you, and you might even get maybe 1 or 2 in there that are just running around for a handicap. Like, what do you really gain from that? You might as well just go for a racecourse gallop. He's actually been in a race, and I mean, he'll have learned so much from that, I think.
Agree.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that race on trials day because I remember thinking it was quite a brave move, and hoping that it wouldn't break him, and when he looked beaten, he actually seemed to run on again stronger towards the end, from what I remember, which I thought, I mean, going back to Johnny following Stay Away all season, he's obviously a very, very gutsy horse, isn't he? I think
very much so.
Every run that's been shown.
But put it this way: if Stay Away Faye and Factor File are level jumping the last, I'd put every pound in my wallet on Stay Away Faye to get up the hill better than him. I could end up with egg on my face, but yeah, I definitely prefer Stay Away Faye.
That's what we like. We like a bit of confidence like that, Al.
Can I change your mind? Alex is convincing me here now.
Go on, Johnny.
Johnny, you on this one, you're welcome to the free pass. I mean, you've been banging the drum right from the season outset. So to be fair,
I have. I've just panicked at the wrong time.
Well, I must say it's all clicked together nicely because Matty mentioned straight away it could be one of the races of the season.
Yeah.
So
also might not, because Willie could completely
one to look forward to then.
Send Vassal Vega back to the Arkle, he could send Factor File back to the Turners. You just don't know, at the end of the day. But I know he said he's coming here, but I just hope America might get supplemented. I don't think, as much as he looks the obvious winner because he's as short as he is, Factor File, I think Mike could put it up to him over 3 miles. And I agree with Alex. I think Stay Away Faye and Johnny's is a very good horse, and he's got stamina in abundance.
Do you think American Mike's better on a sounder surface than we're likely to get?
No.
Is your answer?
Okay.
If we can get soft, I think he'd be perfect.
Okay, so we better move on from the Browns because we've got the plenty there. So Matty is clearly hoping that America might get supplemented for the race. Alex is still very keen on Stay Away Faye, who John has been keen on all season and was tipping towards Factor File, but
I've changed my mind. I'm going to Stay Away Faye.
Changed mine and going back to Stay Away Faye.
Alex has convinced me to stick with my heart on this one.
It's got to be done, Johnny.
Rip up the notes.
Ian's going with Factor File anyway, so we've got a selection on the favourite Factor File. Although we're still waiting for Ian's second and third in the race. We'll get back to you later on in the video with the result of the TriCast in this one. Sorry, Ian.
That's all right. That's all right.
No one really mentioned Monty Starr then either, did they?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Oh, did you?
I'll banter like
wasn't paying attention, sorry.
Okay, so we move on to Queen of the Champion Chase time. And El Fabiolo and John Bon and so on. Is Edwardstone still in here?
Looks like they're coming this race now.
Yeah, 7-1.
Alex, go on. And it seems a good time to go to you, Alex. Then, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, he was excellent, wasn't he? With that change of tactics last time out at Newbury, went out from the front, really positive, and I think that really suited him. He jumped much better. He looked a lot more like the horse he was in his novice season. Yeah, I'd be. I mean, he's a nice each way price as well. You get 7-1 on him. So yeah, I'd have a go on him. The one I'd probably be most concerned about backing would be John Bon, especially after what happened on Trials Day. The way he obviously put in all that effort and didn't quite get there. It sort of reminded me of what happened to Edwardstone last season. In sort of the same race, wasn't it, the Clarence House? And that clearly left a mark on Edwardstone, and I'd be worried it might do the same for John Bon. So yeah, I'd be going on Edwardstone, and I mean, I definitely look to go each way on him rather than backing him for a place, because although El Fabiolo is brilliant, he is prone to smashing a couple of fences every now and then, and I don't think the option of Edwardstone winning is, I don't know, it's not something that's definitely not going to happen. So I'd give him a chance of actually winning this. So yeah, I'll go Edwardstone.
And I think that's been the talk all season, hasn't it? That El Fabiolo and John Bon, there's slight questions, isn't there? It's not like they're the greatest jumpers ever, maybe. So
at some stage, El Fabiolo is either going to fall or unseat or something in one race that he has, because he is prone to smashing a couple. So yeah, I take a chance on Edwardstone, set a real fast pace, and just see if they can go by him. If they do, fair enough. But I mean, 7-1 each way. I mean, there's not going to be a lot of horses that actually run in this race either. I think I can see a lot of these sort of going elsewhere to handicaps, the ones that are entered, and yeah, I mean, you can get 3 places at the moment, so I think that's a good bet to me.
Lovely. And I was reading something the other day. Alan King had, I think his horses have hit a bit of form, and he'd made some quote about going back to the drawing board almost, and something about the techniques in training and running them up a steep hill or something, and it potentially paying dividends. You do wonder whether, I know people were saying with Edwardstone, oh, they don't know what his trip is now and what have you, and have things just falling back into place right in
Probably,
time?
yeah.
Maybe?
And I mean, he ran over 2.5, didn't he? And it looked like he didn't stay. So I think they know they can't go 2.5. I mean, he won an Arkle here, so I mean, he's not short of pace. He was, to me, I wouldn't say an unlucky loser, but at Trials Day last year, I think he came out of that race with so much credit, didn't he? With how much distance he pulled and sort of gained back after jumping the last. So I'm pretty confident with him.
Lovely. Love that, Alex. Ian looks absolutely. Either Ian was fuming there or he was asleep. I'm not sure which it was.
He's fuming about my comments about John Bon. That's what it is.
Come on, Ian. Fight back for Hendo, Ian.
I can't. I really can't. I was there. I'd say I've not really been that impressed with his jumping this season. I was there for Tingle Creek Day when he won the Tingle Creek. I know it was ground, a bit heavy ground, but I don't think he's really jumped that well. And I know he beat Edwardstone that day by 2 3/4 lengths, but he didn't really jump that fluently. And then, Christ, to see that last one at Cheltenham when Elixir to Nuts, that was absolutely abysmal. I know he's only beaten, what was it, a neck in the end, but no horse, I don't know it was James Bowen, but it was just really awful. And since then, I know, and granted, yes, I know people are going to moan about schooling. Matt Chapman put some videos up recently at 7 Barrows about him jumping and his schooling. And to me, I don't think he really jumped that well even now. And I think saying about El Fabiolo now, I think I've taken it on board now that he's not the best jumper, but he still wins his races well and he's more convincing, even with the odd niggle and mistake here and there. And just saying about Edwardstone, yes, he was very impressive, but I think with Ruby Wolf said he needs to go from the front, but then if he does he then cut his own throat and then sets it up for El Fabiolo's? It's 22, but he does need to go from the front if he's going to have any chance of beating these. But yeah, I can't see, after all that, LJ, I can't see El Fabiolo being beaten, to be honest.
No. El Fab all the way for Ian then. Johnny?
Yeah, I've not a lot to say on this race really, because a lot of it's already been said. I mean, El Fabiolo should win comfortably for me in this, to be honest. But I did pick up that mad stat yesterday that's saying that only 3 of the last 11 odds-on shots have won this race, which is obviously, you know, a bit of a remarkable stat, really, isn't it? But he should be too good for these. Hope John Bond gets round and runs a nice race, but I just can't see him, you know, outdoing El Fabiolo. I did make these notes the other day, and I did make a note about Fernie Hollow saying that he definitely wouldn't come because he's very fragile. And look what happened the next day. He's gone again, hasn't he? So, yeah. Such a shame.
Yeah. So, Elfab for Johnny.
Elfab.
Speaking of Fernie Hollow, one of his biggest fans, Matty.
Yeah, obviously Johnny's touched on him. He knew he was. We said straight away, he's not really going to keep sound. It's a shame that he's not, because he is an excellent horse, isn't he? When he does. Touching on Alex's comments about El Fabiolo when he's going to win seat or 4, it could happen. But I was watching something the other day, and Keith Donoghue was on, and he said the fences in Cheltenham are a lot smaller than the ones in Ireland, and they're easier to brush through the top of. I agree that Edwardstone probably needs to be ridden from the front again to have a chance, but then he's going to be up against probably Gentleman Demi, Editor Jeep from the front as well, so he's not necessarily going to get that easy lead. I think Ian's being a bit harsh on John Bon from the last day, maybe. I can understand, but I think Bowen was just petrified of, there was a lot of pressure on him that day, wasn't there? Doesn't normally ride him. Nicky's golden child, needs to get him round, and it was just a mistake, and he fought back. But then, as you say, it probably took more out of him what they wanted.
It was a particularly bad jump, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you'll imagine Nico will be back on board, won't you? It's a no bet race before. Obviously, I'm not on anyone in prices. I just think Al Fabiolo will win and win comfortably.
Lovely, thank you, Matty. So, yeah, general consensus that El Fabiolo is rightfully a strong favourite, but Alex is found us some nice value with Edwardstone, and I mean, like Alex said, it's a lovely price should anything go wrong with the others, but I mean, it seems a cracking each way price, doesn't it, at the moment, to be honest with you, on Edwardstone.
Bossman, you're going to give us a TriCast?
Yeah, I will actually. I'll give you a TriCast. El Fabiolo, Edwardstone, Captain Guinness.
Oh,
John Bon not in first 3?
No.
wow.
Oh, Nicky's going to be on the phone, mate.
He's just been struck off the mailing list.
There's your
Wow.
try.
I know that's a bold shout like that you won't finish in the first 3.
Wow.
There's your 3.
Well, there we go. Ian, bold, old Rain Man, con man, boss man. He loves a bold statement or two.
Ian will have that bold statement up on TikTok.
Okay, so although I know Alex in particular probably thinks this should be back to a handicap now, but I guess we're doing the cross country, are we?
We are.
Okay. One of Alex's favourite races of the week, but I'm going to go to Matty first, I'm afraid, because Matty hasn't started us off for a little while, so I think I know where you're going here.
That'll work.
Yeah, I guess that may be it.
Nice little prep run at the Boyne Hurdle last time out, exactly like he did last year. I know people are saying about Manella Indo. I just think he's been primed for this race all year. That'll work, I think. He'll come here and he'll win again.
Love that. We love a confident Matty.
Alex has a good stat.
Go on, Matt.
Do I?
Go on, Alex.
Yeah, we talked about it, didn't we? In the cross about Delta Work.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. The last 3 years. Sorry, and I completely forgot that. So this year and the previous 2 years, Delta Works prep run, he's finished 6th of 8th, and then he's gone on to win at the festival. So let's make it 3rd time lucky. Delta Works going to win.
Love that, Alex. Love that. Go on then, boss man.
Well, when we did have our pre discussion before we started recording, there was I do like Delta work as well. We were saying about the Boyne hurdle and finishing sixth. It's just carbon copy year after year of what happens. And I think he ran here in November, and I think he was giving £10 to Foxy Jacks, and who was second that day? Late Night Pass. So obviously went on to win. I think he was giving him stolen a bit that day, so it was crazy just to finish that close in sixth. I think just says it all. One that potentially I think we could see a carbon copy of when Tiger Roll and Delta Work were coming around the other year. Our friend Corcoor Beach, he could be the threat. I think so. He won. What did he win? He won the Tri-Town when was it November, that meeting. He's run over the banks as well. He won carrying 12 stone. I think he could be the threat, and I think there could be the two coming around the corner to the last or the last two. I think it could be a Gigginstown battle on our hands, but I think Delta will just win it.
Love that. Well, we like a good Gigginstown battle in
Never
this
thought I'd hear Ian tip up Cocoa Beach.
Not to win.
Never thought I'd hear Ian mention Cocoa fucking Beach.
I do believe I was stood beside you watching that Troy Town, Ian.
We was, yeah. And our Irish giant was next to us, wasn't he? He was fuming because Limerick Lace got
a happy man, was he?
And see our northern friend cheering it on. He was the only one cheering it on in that William Hill. Grabbing his money. Yeah, he wasn't happy.
Okay. Go on, Johnny.
Yeah, pretty much what the lads have said there. I had two notes written down. One was if the ground was decent, then I'd go Galvin, which I don't think it will be. And if it doesn't, I'm going to stick with Delta Work. Can't see anybody getting ahead of him in this. Just enjoy the spectacle of it, isn't it? And don't get stuck into it. Just enjoy the race. But yeah, straightforward OJ from me.
Can I say one more thing, OJ?
Yeah, of course you can.
It's not sort of betting purposes, but it's just more sort of a word of warning for people that are maybe looking to have a bet. Just remember that the cross-country course doesn't drain as well as the rest of the course, so it tends to be slightly worse. So generally, if the main part of the course is sort of soft, you might get sort of soft heavy in places, or maybe heavy soft in places. So it will always be that little bit worse than what the rest of the course is. So if you're looking to back Galvin and you're hoping you're going to get some better ground, be aware.
I like that. Love that, Alex. Thank you, sir. Okay, gentlemen, lovely. So yeah, Delta Work again. It's been you guys have been pretty confident that this is a race for the taking for Delta Work all season, and yeah, thank you, chaps. So I guess we're doing the bumper.
We are.
You answered first, Ian, so good luck. Away you go.
I thought I had this down until the other day. Maureen, ironically, she really impressed me that her win, and so with the £7 potentially, I thought perfect. She's the one for me. And then Closs Sutton,
and a fairy tale story.
Yeah, and then Closs Sutton obviously confirmed that she's picked up an injury or something. So I've had to have a rethink. Again, not very original, but I think that the one that's battled well for me is probably Jalon Dudures with his 2 wins. Where's he won? Leopardstown just after Christmas. Who did he beat? Redemption Day. He was carrying 12 stone that day by 2 3/4 lengths. And I think the previous one before then was at Fairy House, beating Major Barry. He just seems to battle a bit more for me than more some of the others. I keep hearing about the other Gordon Elliott horse called Romeo Coolio, who I've also backed Ante-Post. He seems to be kicking the doors down, apparently, and doing some great work. So he could potentially be one. At what prices can you get? I think you can get 9s with Unibet in a minute. It could be an each-way play, but I'll go with Gelon Duderis.
Okay, Jalon do these for Ian. Matty, the bumper king. What do you make of it this year?
Come back to me, mate, because there's people in the kitchen and you won't hear me properly. I'll mute myself.
No worries. We will come back to you. Alex, I'm kind of guessing Alex isn't overly enthusiastic, or have we got some kind of?
Yeah, I've got one I quite fancy. I say quite fancy. I really like You Ought to Know. I put it this year as potentially a Ballymore horse. I mean, that sort of shows sort of how highly I rate him. Obviously, he's not been over hurdles yet. I put him up as a Ballymore horse as he'd had an entry over hurdles, but then didn't take it up. So one of those things. Before the DRF, they said that whatever he did at that race, he'd then come on for. When he was second, produced an RPR of 132. And if they think he's going to come on for that, then I mean, he should be a much shorter price than this. The funny one is to me is Jalon Dudery. Like, I can't remember any other Jigginstown horses going for the champion bumper. I'm not sure if I'm maybe being really silly, but have there been many? And I seem to think that they didn't like the race.
Very rare.
That's what I remember.
What? Sorry, Matty?
Is it Abacadabras?
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I can't remember too many, and they have so many horses. So maybe I had it in my head that they don't like this race, but I can see he started to drift, didn't he? I think he was as low as sort of 7-2, and I can see you can get 6-1 on him now. So yeah, maybe not going to run, but yeah, I'd be happy to take a chance on You Ought to Know. To see, hopefully he'll step up from what he did at the DRF, and to be honest, he probably doesn't even need to. I mean, the RPR he produced that day is higher than anything else has produced, so even if he just replicates that run, he should probably beat these. It's not like it's a vintage renewal of this champion bumper.
Lovely. I like that, Alex. Just a quick look at their You Ought to Know beat Croke Park on his debut, which of course is a horse that Matty's liked all season, I think.
For the Bartlett.
Yeah.
And a lot of people at the moment are wanking about this yellow clay, and You Ought to Know had him 7 lengths behind. So yeah, I'm not really sure what that is.
Yellow clay, but
so
he
did
stayed on.
So
But
did You Ought to Know. He got hampered going around the bend and didn't exactly get a clear run, and he still finished not too far behind. And
I love it when we get a little.
The top 4 in the betting all seem to have drifted, so it's a bit weird.
I like it when we get a little unexpected Alex nugget, and he's kind of sneakily liking it. And Johnny, what are you got anything catching your eye?
Well, I've never been so puzzled by the bumper as I have this year for a long time. It's, you know, so many horses that I've noted this year and have just fallen by the wayside, including obviously Maureen that Ian mentioned earlier. Romeo Coolio's been a big talking horse, hasn't he? But I mean, has he really got the form in the book to win it? I don't know. You've only seen him once. But I'm going to go with another horse I've actually only seen once, but he's the one who's took my eye out more than any single of the other bumper horses, and that's T-Sham for Paul Nicholls. I liked him straight away. I thought his win in his debut bumper was superb. He just looked really good. He travelled well. He picked up nicely. I just think that Nicholls stuck in Captain Teague in the bumper, didn't he, last year after one run? And I think he finished third, didn't he, at 40s?
Yeah.
Well, T-Sham looks a hell of a lot better to me on one run. So I'm just going on that, purely on that, really. The other thing I want to mention is Patrick well and truly threw us under the bus, didn't he, in November, when they asked him for a bumper horse and he said Petite Secret. It's not even got an entry. So thanks for that, Patrick, if you're watching. What a waste of a tenner that was.
Prick.
What was that, Ian?
Prick.
Harsh.
You'll be off the Christmas card list.
Lost a dedicated follower there, Ian.
Yeah, sorry, Patrick.
I think he should come on and explain himself next season.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Speaking of November meeting, there's Brecon Castle. Wasn't it Brecon Castle who won the bumper that?
Yeah.
In November, are we giving up there? Nobody No.
That's it.
Oh, it's time to come to Matty.
Yeah, usually this is a race I've got a pretty strong opinion on. However, this year I haven't got as strong of an opinion or well invested as I normally am. Brecon Castle is the one I liked early doors after his win at Sedgefield in October. He followed up at the November meeting where he ran very well, beating Firefly by 2 lengths. He went on to Ascot in December, where he was beaten 3 lengths by Let It Rain. I think he was having to give her £9 or £10. I think that was a very good run. He travelled into the race very well, and he doesn't seem to mind the hustle and bustle of being in a big field. Backed him earlier in the season, and it looks to have been the plan. I think he's still available around about 20-1 if anyone wanted to have a bet. The other I came down on is Jalon Du Dairies for Gordon Elliott. I think he's just the type for this race. He'll no doubt race prominently, keep finding from the front, in turn setting a decent pace for Brecon Castle to sit off and track through. So they're my two, Brecon Castle and Jalon Du Dairies.
Love that, Matty. Thank you. And,
I wonder if a horse has ever won a Sedgefield bumper and then won the Cheltenham bumper.
They will become on the Wednesday at 5:35.
Love his confidence.
I love it. I love it. And we do know that Matty's got a decent record in the old bumpers.
Yeah.
Bumpers. He loves the old bumpers, Ian.
Pat.
Okay, so yeah, nice. Matty's sticking with Brecon Castle at a nice price, although he does also like the current favourite, Jalon Du Dairies. Johnny's sticking with Tishan, Ian, Jalon Du Dairies, and Alex was like sneakily confident on You Ought to Know. So I should mention at this point, just because it's definitely not my tip, but I was put on to somebody who says he's always watched us, God knows how long ago, to Cantico at 50-1, and is currently 12-1. A guy called Steve Kenley who says he really likes the show, and yeah, Cantico maybe didn't do it too impressively last year, but certainly a bit of value since he put us onto that one. So that's where I'll be hoping to mop up, because I did follow his advice. So yes, thank you for that one, Steve. So we're on to day 3, and the Turners Novices Chase, 2 mile 4, and yeah, without any further ado, Johnny, go on, make your case, mate.
Yeah, another race I think that'll cut up quite a bit. Probably not have that many runners in. I'm going to stick with Ginny's Destiny. Obviously, he's grown on me as the season's progressed. He's got multiple course and distance wins. He jumps well. Probably one of the better jumpers in the field and more consistent jumpers in the field. He finds under pressure. It does, smell a little bit of stage star last year. Sort of come in a little bit under the radar, so to speak. Obviously, Grey Dawning will be a threat, but can throw in a few dodgy jumps, which is probably why Ginny's beat him earlier in the season. And, jumping is name of the game here, isn't it? So I'd rather go for the more consistent jumper. I still hope Gaelic Warrior comes here, but I just don't know what the plan is now anymore. So if he comes here, that'll make the race at least interesting anyway, won't it? So I'd like to see him here. But yeah, I can't really see much else down the field, to be honest with you. Probably the winner would come from one of those 3 mentioned. Facile Vega, will he get put up in trip? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on with him either. It's a bit more of the Mullins bingo, isn't it, with these horses? But yeah, Ginny's for me. Straight win bet, and that's it on this one.
It's a funny one with the Facile Vega, isn't it? It just can't seem to find. I don't know. Yeah. Anyway, I won't go on any further. Ian, yeah, do you think the jump by Grey Dawning cost him against Ginny's? Or...
Oh, most definitely. I think can he say he could potentially be the winner that day? Maybe, but he definitely cost him that race. He would be my pick, but I've got to say I really, really, really struggled with this race. I thought even before the DRF, I thought Gaelic Warrior was absolutely nailed on for this. But after that performance, I don't see how you can have any. Even for me, I love the horse, but you can't have any confidence in the horse now. And as Johnny said, mate, he could potentially go down to the Arkle over two, or go at all. But yeah, I think potentially, Grey Dawning will come down. I know he won over 3 mile last time, and it was a god awful ground for it. I remember, and I think he literally fell over the last couple of chaser with the I can't talk, but he fell over them. But I think it potentially would avoid Factor 5 come down to 2.425. Iroko could be quite interesting, but again, he's been out after his impressive run. It could be one. Will he be fit enough? And that's about it. Facile Vega, I don't know if he'll come. And as Johnny said, if you look further down, Blood Destiny maybe, but I think he's been running over 2 mile. It's so hard this race, but I'll go with Grey Dawning.
Don't back injured horses.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Well, I got I love Gaelic Warrior, and I've given Matty some stick for giving us stick about him not being able to jump left-handed, and I've had to fall on my sword with that one, but I've had to. But honestly, now, forgetting all betting aside, I'd love to see him go to the Arkle and do it in the
fucking
Arkle.
foot.
I would.
The horse just shouldn't run left-handed. It's that simple.
Yeah. I get one more chance, Matty. One more chance. Can I give him one more chance? Willie has said, hasn't he, that he's definitely going to the festival. Didn't I read something the other day? Willie said he's going to the festival. Well, surely. No, I don't know.
Richie will want him running, won't he?
One more chance.
I wouldn't back him with fucking stolen money.
No, we know you wouldn't. We know you wouldn't. Fucking.
He jumped well last time, I thought. Or one, maybe.
He did jump straight in, but it's still going left-handed. He's just got it in him, and he clouted. Made a mistake 4 out, and that was his race round.
He's got the speed. I think he got a chance in the Arkle. Anyway, yeah. But yeah. Go on, Alex. Put us right.
I'm going to take a chance. You can get 5-1 at the moment with non-runner no bet. I'm going to take a chance on Facile Vega. I've been saying for ages that you should have a step-up in trip, and it looks like he's now going to have it, and I don't think I can not back him now that he's actually doing what I thought he should be doing. I know he wasn't brilliant at the DRF, but he wasn't brilliant at the DRF last year, and he improved 17 pounds between the DRF and Cheltenham from last year. I don't think he didn't have to improve anywhere near that to be able to win this race. He produced an RPI 152, which isn't terrible, and people said he was rubbish. So I think the step up in trip will help. And I mean, he was second in Supreme last year. I mean, Marine Nationale pretty much obviously bossed that race, and that was probably the best performance he's put up for me. And I think at 5-1, you could probably even go each way. It's a bit muggy, isn't it? But I think he'll improve, and the top two in the market have been running in handicaps through the year as well. So he is a proper grade 1 animal. So step up in trip will help, and I'll get stuck in.
Interesting. Like that. And seeing as it's we were saying it's probably not the best turners that we've had, then you think back to even Facile Vega's bumpy year and how highly touted he was. There's obviously something in there. So Alex could be right. The step up in trip could be key.
And if anyone can get back to his best, it's Willie.
Absolutely.
He's the man you got to trust.
Absolutely. Trust in Willie. Always trust in Willie.
Loves a Willie.
Matty is absolutely itching to get stuck into this one.
Frothing at the gas, she is.
Fucking chomping at the bit to get stuck into this race. I know I said earlier on that there won't be many runners in the Browns and it'd be the race of the festival. There won't be many runners in this, and I don't think it'll be a very good race at all. I can see Alex's angle on Facile Vega needing to step up in trip. Coming here, actually, he stayed on in behind Ilate Thompson, found a 50 at the DRF. Wouldn't touch Gaelic Warrior who've stolen money, like I said. Great dawning. I understand, fair enough. Everyone could say he would have won without that mistake against Ginny's Destiny, but he made it. Jumping's the name of the game at the end of the day. At the moment, I haven't backed anything. If you put a gun to my head, I would go with Johnny's pick, Ginny's Destiny. Similar to Stage Star last year. I know he ran in handicaps leading up to it, but if he can get into a rhythm and jump in well, I think he'll take some stopping in this. But at the moment, it's a no bet race, but favouring towards Ginny's.
We'll take that. Thank you, Matty. So, no bet, but if someone put a gun to Matty's head, he'd be going Ginny's Destiny along with John, who is definitely Ginny's Destiny. Alex, hoping the step up in trip will do the trick for Facile Vega. And Ian is forgiving Grey Dawning that pretty horrendous jump a couple of months ago. And thinks that form could be reversed.
If Iroko does come and win here, though, it's going to be some training performance because he's had that setback earlier, and then to come and run at Grade 1, first run back, it's going to be some ask, isn't it? Same as Grade 1, isn't it?
If Iroko runs, it'll blow up. So.
Yeah, I think that they shouldn't be rushing him back.
No, definitely not.
Not for this sort of race, level of race. Like, I know I said it's going to be a poor race, but it's still a Grade 1.
Yeah.
Just gutted him. Ante Thompson isn't coming here like the Ante-Post swing that I took. He's going to go and win the Arkle.
Come second to Gaelic Warrior in the Arkle. Anyway, okay, we'll move on to the Ryanair. And, we've got to give Matty a chance to go first here, just seeing as he has legendary status from this race from a couple of years ago. So, what are you thinking in here, Matty?
I think if it's good ground, then Banbridge certainly comes into the equation and makes him a big player, but I don't think we're going to get good ground unless it dramatically dries out. So he probably won't even run. I've got it between Envoy Island and Stage Star. It doesn't look the strongest renewal to me, and you could run this 10 times and you could probably have 7 or 8 different winners. I think it'll be a good race to watch and just hope that you're on the right one. Saying it's between the two, I have come down. I am going to opt for last year's Turner's winner, and that's Stage Star. I think Nichols will have been able to have freshened him up since his last run when he pulled up in that handicap running off top weight. I think he'll get into a nice rhythm and he'll be hard to catch.
Lovely. So you definitely forgive him for that handicap run?
Yeah. I think that run, I think in the interview leading up to it, wasn't it when ITV did that thing where they let the interview on the jockey and trainer sort of conversation before Nichols even said to him, just mind him. Like, it's not the main day, is it? Just basically. I know he'd come out of that race. I think he said he'd come out of it stiff, but I'm watching something earlier on. Harry Cobden said he's been schooling well. I think it's been going well since, and he thinks he said it's his best chance of a winner. I think
he's been right at the top of the market from early on in the season, hasn't he? To be fair, Stage Star. So. Okay, Johnny, Envoy LN was an Ante-Post pick of yours, I'm pretty certain, and then when Alan dropped out of the reckoning, do you just feel even stronger on Envoy LN now, or?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident he can go back to back in this. I mean, he obviously comes alive at the festival, doesn't he? Already 3 wins here already, going for a 4th. I just think he's been trained for this throughout the season. Maybe he hasn't had a recent run, has he, which could be a little bit of a concern, but just hopefully, he shows what he did last year, because it was great last year when he won this. I absolutely loved that he'd, got a bit of retribution from other runs. I do like the other two that Matty mentioned as well. I love Banbridge, but he just never seems to get his ground on the day, does he? And that'll probably be the same again. Stage Star, I'm sure Nichols will have him right after his poor run last time out. So they're obvious threats depending on the ground with Banbridge, but it's got to be M4LN for me, OJ. I'm going to stick with him.
Love that, Johnny. Love that. I won't be too concerned about not having a recent run. I don't think he ran for quite a while before last year, did he? He must have had quite.
No, he ran 26th of December last year. Then when I won the Ryanair. This year he ran 11th of November, and he's not run since.
Go with it, Johnny. Go with it, Johnny.
Stick with him.
Ian.
I'm going to go with one of my Ante-Post picks, like Matty said as well. Stage Star for me. I'm willing to forgive his run. Last time out, I think it was, as Matty said, he was carrying a cart that day, and the ground was shit. So I'm willing to write that race off. And he did win the Paddy Power Gold Cup in November. I know, he nearly fell, didn't he? And beat not long till May that day. But I still think he's the one to beat. I was just looking at the Ryanair Chase, funny enough, and the last 10-year-old to win was Alberta's run in 2011. Say that as you will, could be anything, but I just thought
little dig at Johnny and Envoy Allen there.
Yeah. While I've just looked at a price, and call me stupid, and I know you probably will call me stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Don't be fucking mention Protector.
Janadil, I know we're talking about 10-year-olds, is placed in this race before. He's currently 50-1, and he could be one for mopping up some of the places or the prize money. He's had form behind Allaho this season, come second, and also at Kempton he was behind Banbridge, who's one of the contenders, and picked Dorhe. He could be one at a stupid price. It could mop up a couple of the places, but yeah, it would be Stage Star for me.
It'd be Janadil would be place only, surely.
Yeah. I thought 50-1 was quite big, as they considering he's placed. He was second 10 years ago, 2 years ago behind Allaho. He's behind some good horses this season. He could be one for a silly price.
Lovely, thank you, Ian. Alex, are you liking Stage Star?
I think it's another race where you can pick significant holes in all the ones at the top of the market. And I think, like what Matty said, you could run this 10 times and have 7 different runners. The one I'll probably side with, we know he stays further. I can't take the credit for this because this is one that our good friend, the voice of Ireland, Jamie Wren's put us all on to.
You're going to fucking say it, aren't you?
Protectorat. Matty's fuming. I mean, you can still get 16-1 on him. I mean, which is a real nice each way price. I mean, if he finishes in the top 3, you're making a nice little bit of money there. As I say, he stays further. I think he'll go out from the front. He'll make it a proper test. And considering how many holes you can pick in the ones at the front of the market, it's really, really a race where, to me, I think we could see a nice price winner. And I'm happy to take a chance at, I think, 16-1, bet 365 at the moment. I think it looks pretty fair.
He was giving Broadway Boy a hell of a lot of weight in December, wasn't he?
Yeah, and he finished strongly, didn't he, as well? So, what was he giving him, over a stone or something? Something like that. It was a lot of weight. And yeah, I think because he stays sort of that longer trip. I've got no worries about him getting tired up the hill, and I've got no ground concerns either.
Oof, like that. So Protectorat at a nice price for Alex. Johnny's MYLN, which, to be fair, Johnny's been saying from early doors, and it's looking very nice in the market now. And Ian and Matty both sticking with Stage Star.
Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, gentlemen. So we are moving on to what are we moving on to? Stayers Hurdle, are we?
Hurdle.
Stayers Hurdle. Okay, no. I need a drink. Same as last year, Johnny.
This race.
Put your hands up. Who wants to? Has anybody got anything? Anybody want to start off? Because this feels like what's that film called? Where things keep happening over again.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day. Yeah.
I'll go if you want, OJ.
Go on, Ian. Go on. Go for it.
I'm going to go with Irish Point to win. He has impressed me with a couple of his wins this season. I think
is he going to run here now, though?
I think so. I don't think he'll go champion. I think he'll come here.
I hope so, Ian.
But I think it's quite interesting. I keep hearing that Jack Kennedy he's going to pick this horse rather than Tihupu, which I think is quite interesting. I think he would go on any ground. I think he's won on soft, and I think good to soft as well. So it won't be an issue. Younger horse as well. He would be my pick. Noble Yates, I've just seen you can get 10-1, could be quite interesting. One at Cheltenham. What did he win? Oh God, mine's gone blank. He won the Cleve Hurdle, when I thought was quite interesting. So he could be one for the places, and then potentially a good run going back over chasing for the Grand National. But so Irish Point, keep an eye on Noble Yates for a place.
Okay. Thank you, Ian. I hope you're right, to be honest with you, because I hope Irish Point goes here, and
I think you will.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you. Alex.
I've got to go with my mate Crambo.
You had
I love
to.
Crambo. Go on, Ian. Go on, AJ. What were you going to say?
No. You had to go with him. You absolutely.
Yeah. He's the new kid on the block, isn't he? 7-year-old. This race has been for the last few years been run by the same horses again and again and again. We've had 6 different versions of the 2018 Stayers Hurdle. Basically, that's what it feels like, at least. Tiapu, if he was going to win a Stayers Hurdle, I think it would have been last year. I think it was his best chance, and he didn't. Irish Point, obviously, off to the Champion Hurdle, possibly. If they thought he was going to win a Stayers, why would they even think about putting him in a Champion Hurdle? Just doesn't make sense to me. He stays. That sort of battle he had with Paisley Park in the long walk, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. I think he'll fly up the hill. My only slight concern with him is he's had 3 poor runs in his life, and all 3 have been on left-handed tracks. Now, there's nothing that he doesn't jump right, doesn't jump right or anything like that. There's nothing in particular that I can call out is the reason why. It might just be a coincidence, but yeah, I'm going to go with Crambo.
I'm not surprised. Thank you very much, sir. From Crambo Fan Club Secretary or Chairman, even. We'll take that. We'll go to Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, this is a race you could run 10 times and have 7 or 8 different winners, isn't it? I mean, it's proper. It's really, really hard. So I've gone round in circles a little bit. Of the 2 Robcore ones, I do prefer Irish Point, as I've mentioned several times before. I don't think Tiapu likes the track, in all honesty. I think best suited elsewhere. Still a fan of Sir Gerhard, but I don't know if he'll stay this trip at all on this track. I think they've already said that he's going to be ridden to get the trip as well, so that sort of says it all. Like, they're going to be ridden to try and get a place, so maybe he's one for Ian's TriCast. Now, I think you're going to be shocked by the one I'm going to pick here, but I'm actually going to go for last year's winner, Sire de Belay, each way. He had a jog round at Navan last month, but he's a spring horse, and he always seems to come to hand for the festival, doesn't he? So I think at 25-1, he's like a knocking each way bet, especially on the day if you can get extra prices at that sort of price. He's obviously 12 now, but why would they keep him in training if they don't think he could win? I mean, you would have just retired him, wouldn't you, and not bothered? But I just think, he's got a good chance still, and, if he could win this, they'd probably retire him after the race, wouldn't they? It's that sort of type of thing. So I just think at that price, it's a good each way bet for me. Obviously, I have to mention the Drasher, don't I, as usual? But he's another one at a big price on the day that I'll probably have a few quid each way on as well. So, yeah, but side de belay for me.
The Drasher would win it at Newbury.
Yeah. He always runs a race, so here, isn't he? He's never out the first
No.
three or four. So,
Yeah.
solid yardstick of a horse.
What price was side de belay last year? It was about 66 to 1 or something ridiculous, wasn't it?
Yeah, he could have got 100, but I think he went off at 66, didn't he?
And it finished like an absolute train, to be fair, to win it. So,
yeah,
good shout, that, Johnny. Matty?
Oh, you all know what I'm going to say, don't you? First things first, I can't have Irish Boy. He beat Asterion Volange and fucking Ballyadam the last day. You know, he's gonna get rerouted to the champion hurdle with all this fucking nonsense going on as well, isn't he? They're gonna have a dart in each race. They're not gonna put fucking two in the same. I'm going to stick with my old boy Paisley Park. I think he's run really consistent this year. Yes, okay, he's on 3 seconds. He was only, short ahead behind Crambo at Newbury in December. Not Newbury, Ascot. It was fucking Dashel Drasher who's behind at Newbury, wasn't it, in December. And then the last day he got beat by Noble Yeats, and he ran a Stormer. Yeah, I'm sticking with him. He's 16 to 1 at the moment. I can see him coming in a little bit, maybe on the day, because you'll get those that want the fairy tale ending, don't you, for him? He's 12-year-old. He's still running, his 3 RPRs this year, 154, 159, 156. He's still running to an overall rating of 157. I just love the horse. I think he's got a great chance.
Love that,
in a not so good status, to be fair. It's just, but how good would it be for the connections if Crambo did put it together and win for him? Like, I know Alex is obviously a big fan of him.
Crambo,
we could be. Yeah,
Four Importer does interest me if they do revert back to hurdles with him.
Well, there was talk of it, wasn't there? What about Monkfish? Could Monkfish still go here?
Probably Gold Cup.
I think you'd have to wait till the day to back him, probably, would you?
Yeah, I think Gold Cup, though.
They've said Gold Cup, haven't they?
I think so.
I don't know whether they have they? That's why. That's the only reason I asked. Okay. No, so it could be. I mean, you look, Sire de Burley, Paisley Park, the old boys against the new kid on the block for Mr. Galpin Deschamps, Crambo. We will see. Crambo. Yeah. Right, we better move on because time's ticking on. But yeah, we've ended up talking loads about a race that we have no idea. Okay. So, right, where are we going now?
Mayor's Novice.
Mayor's Novice, yes, indeed. Oh, Christ almighty. Give me a wink if you want to start.
I'll go first and get it out of the way.
Oh, go on,
I was keen on Jatara if she was going to come here, but obviously they've not entered her. She's not coming. I mean, Brighter Days Ahead's an absolute weapon, and I think she's going to take all the beating here. I know she went over 2 mile 5 the last day, but most of the runs have been over 2 mile this throughout her career up to now. I think she's going to be brilliant, and she'll be an excellent chaser next year as well if they go that route.
Love that, Matty. That's a nice, confident pick. Ian?
I want to go with Alex's mate. I might go with Dysart Enos. I think Fergal has campaigned her very, very cleverly with her races this season. She's got it could be useful. She's used 11.2 and somebody at the top of the market, J. de Gruge in Brighter Days Ahead, 11.7 could come into effect. But I get what Matty was saying. Some of these have been, I know Brighter Days Ahead was 2 mile 1 and 2 mile 5. I think J. de Gruge has been kind of the middle distance as well. I've been quite impressed with her, so I'm going to go with Dysart Enos.
Lovely, like that, Ian. And are you agreeing, Al? What's the word?
Yeah, absolutely. You know that expression about buses, about two coming along at once? That's what's going to happen. We're going to have two Grade 1 winners on the same day. So yeah,
Love
I'll
it.
guys something else as well for me. The one thing that really annoys me that people keep saying about why haven't they chucked her in one of these listed mares hurdles? Like, which of these real high class British mares in these listed hurdles are you expecting her to have taken on? There's none. So why campaign her that way? Campaign her the way they have and get the £5. Like, I think it's really lazy when people say, "Oh, she hasn't taken on any better mares." Which better British mares do you want her to take on? Because there aren't any. So, yeah, Dice Enos for me.
Love that. Johnny, you were
Well-
at the O'Brien Yard a few weeks ago, weren't you? With
I
Alex
was
and our mate Lee Hayes.
Yeah, I'm glad you came to me last in this because I haven't got a Scooby-Doo, to be perfectly honest. I think the three that have been mentioned, it's going to be a cracking race, and I'm a bit disappointed I'm not really in anyone's camp at the moment in this because I've just not latched onto any of them this season. This sort of race has, this race has like passed me by a little bit. If I was going to pick one, well, which I've obviously got to, I'm going to be different and go with Jay de Grugy, and purely because it's Willie's and he knows how to win this race, doesn't he? He's good with the mares, so I was impressed with her the last time. I think she's got a little bit of speed, so that would come in useful in this. But I wouldn't be surprised if any of the three win. I might look for a bit of an each way play on the day as well when we get the full card. But yeah, happy just to watch this one and enjoy, really.
Love it. Thank you, chaps. Well, I don't think we need to ponder it anymore. We're top three in the market. Jay de Grugy for John. Matty's very keen on brighter days ahead and particularly for the future. And
yeah, I mean,
Ian
I've not
Alex,
actually got a bet on her, OJ. Nothing on her. I was keen on, like I said, I was keen on Jatara, but she beat Jatara by 45 lengths earlier in the season. So, if I was keen on her, then
that's fine.
Jatara hasn't finished yet, OJ.
Just the fact that your keenness came over very strongly with that. That'll do for us, mate. We're happy with that. And Dice Enos, very much so for Ian and Alex. Okay, so we're done day 3, and like I say, the clock's ticking quickly. So we move on to day 4. Triumph Hurdle. He's itching to get into the Triumph Hurdle, and no, he's not. Johnny, to be fair to you, yeah, I think you should kick us off with Triumph Hurdle because Sergino one of yours from the start of the season? I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Always been keen on Sergino. Even more so when he thumped Burdett Road at Cheltenham back in January. That was a proper blow me away type performance. Just thought he was superb that day. He looked like he could go round again. He's obviously short enough now, so I just can't see him being beaten, to be honest with you. Just quickly on the others, I think Madgebra's debut was quite good, a bit eye-catching, probably improve for this race as well. So that's probably one to keep an eye on, maybe later, maybe next season perhaps. But yeah, Sergino's the one for me. Easy one for me, that one, OJ.
Sergino all the way. Ian, banker.
Same for me. So he was very, very, very impressive when he beat Burdett Road and Melantino. Very impressive at Kempton as well. We won by 14 lengths at Christmas. Excuse me. I've not seen many on the other side of the water at Ireland when I was we was there at the DRF and we saw like Cargeese one. Madgebra was huge bastard of a horse, I'll say. He would definitely be he'd definitely be up there. But I think Sergino would be too good for these.
Alex?
I really like Madgebra as well. Most of these juveniles on their second start for the year, they tend to improve somewhere between sort of, I don't know, 5 and 15 pounds. I think Sergino improved 13, Cargeese sort of 7 or 8, something like that. And then Stormheart improved as well. I mean, Madra run to an RPR of 138 on his debut in that DRF, and I mean Sergino's RPR when he won at Cheltenham was 143. So I mean he doesn't have to improve that much to be sort of in and amongst him. And I mean the fact that they threw him straight in that DRF triumph, the juvenile Grade 1 hurdle, obviously tells you how highly they think of him. So yeah, at the prices, I'll take a chance on Madra that he'll make a big step forward, which looks like he probably will. But equally, he could blow out.
Lovely. Couple of mentions for Madra in there, and Alex likes that. Matty?
Yeah, obviously, as you know, I was really keen on Burdett Road. And let's be honest, he was well and truly put in his place the last day at Cheltenham when Sergino spanked him. Gutted he's not actually going to make the festival. Not saying he'd have beat Sergino, but I think he probably could have got a lot closer. Maybe taking a sort of different tactics. I agree with Alex. Madra's run at the Dublin Racing Festival was very eye-catching, and a lot of you listen around here, a lot of people saying how big a horse he was and he'll come on for the run. With him, I do wonder whether they're going to mind him and focus more on a chasing can for when he turns to become a chaser. I back Car G's in the DRF. I might have a small punt on her in this. But it was interesting with Alex saying about the improvement. Madra doesn't need a lot. You'd imagine, is it Mark Walsh will be on Madra then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you've got to pick out. And interesting, is it David Mullins on the Race Hour preview? He thinks that Townend will ride Bunting in this, which I was quite surprised at. But no, Sergino, he sets the standard, and if he turns up and does what he did last time out, he's some horse, isn't he? But I'll have a little play on card. My selection with no bird at road will be Cargeezy or Cargees, however you pronounce it.
Cargees. Alex quite keen on Madra. Johnny and Ian. Sergino, who was mightily impressive, or seemingly mightily impressive when putting Burdett Road away. Okay, we'll move on quickly to the Albert Bartlett. Are we on to the Albert Bartlett?
Yeah.
I think. Albert Bartlett, Novices Hurdle, over 3 mile. What we got here? So, reading Tommy wrong, mentioned earlier, is heading the market at the moment. Who's got anything in here they really fancy? Hands up first first hand goes up. Matty, go on.
I've been banging his drum, and I'm going to continue to bang his drum. He shouldn't have run in the Lawlers and Ace the last day, and that is Croke Park. Get him over 3 miles, and he is going to be an absolute weapon, especially over fences. But 3 mile over hurdles now, Albert Bartlett, he'll be in the money.
There we go. Love that. And again, Matty's been keen all season, to be fair. Alex, your reply to that.
Happily invested, shall we say.
I'll put up 2 sort of each way price. I quite like Gidley Park. I think he'd appreciate that step up in trip. I don't think the Ballymore was the race for him, for me. I think that extra distance will really suit him. And then the other one that I quite fancy is the Jukebox Man. He's a bigger price, 25 to 1. He was 3rd in the Challow. And I just think he's another one that will really appreciate that step up in trip. I mean, he's an ex-pointer. 3rd in the Challow, not beaten too far. He was staying on at the end. He's been kept fresh since then. I'd take a chance on him each way as well, but neither of them I'm particularly confident on. It's just a bit of an each way play.
It's a very open market, to be fair. And we've only got, I was going to say 8 days to go, but we haven't. We've got how many? 11 to go until Albert Bartlett.
If the odds
Classes
stay
and
as they
races,
are
yeah.
with 7-1 favourite or whatever it is, what's High Class Hero? He's not much shorter than that. I mean, it could be an exacta race, which is unheard of. I think really. I'm sure one of them will get pumped in though. Probably find one of them's 2-1 on the day.
At which point, Ian would obviously say the simple bet is the TriCast. So we'll go to Ian to find us enough money to pay off all our mortgages in one go. Come on,
It
Ian.
might not be that. My fancy is High Class Hero. I've liked Harry's run all season. It's been an interesting prep. He's had a couple of wins during the summer. I think Listowel, we started in a bump and then went over hurdles and won his maiden hurdle at Galway. Won at Furless last time out in January. I think, for what I remember, he made a bit of a bollocks of the last, but still battled on to win. So he would be my potential win. I won for potentially if there's a horse or there's a line of form that maybe could frank everything. And we've talked about this horse before, is Ballyburn. And obviously you talk about Slade Steel. One of them is Dancing City. Now, potentially if he wins and Slade Steel wins the Ballymore, you definitely need to consider him, I think, for this race. I will go off on a bit of a tangent. But I will say about... I'll be quick. So you said about
Ballyburn working at 5 a.m.
No, I know. But say if Dancing City, I know we'll probably discuss it more tomorrow. But you'll Frank King at Kingsfield, you'll Frank Absurd, all these different horses in different handicap races. But yeah, I think High Class Hero will win, but definitely keep Dancing City on side if the other two win.
Like that, Ian. Couple of nuggets in one.
And handicaps.
Yep. Go on then, Johnny.
Yeah, I mean, this race seems to get tougher every year, to be perfectly honest with you. It's one that I need to look at a little bit more. Obviously, Willie's dominating the top of the market as usual. And out of them, I probably prefer reading Tommy Wrong. I think he'll go to this race, and I think he'll probably be the best of the three there at the top. I do quite like Dancing City as well. I thought he won well at Leopardstown, where I backed him, didn't I, that day? I think I took the extra place, so I lost a bit of the odds on that one, but still got a winner. If Captain T came here, he'd be of interest to me, but I'm not so sure whether he will. Now, this is a sort of race, isn't it, where something like Chapeau de Soleil will win, and everyone will go, for fuck's sake, we followed that for bloody 2 years, and it's been crap, and then it goes and wins this race. And I can just see that happening. You know, it happens all the time, doesn't it? Like a bit like Jazzy Matty and the Boodles last year, where we followed it, and then luckily a couple of us kept with him, and he won, didn't he? But it's a sort of thing that'll happen, isn't it? And you'll be like kicking yourself. So if he does turn up here, it'd probably be someone I have a few quid each way on, just in case that happens. But to pick one, I'm just going to go with reading Tommy Wrong. Take the easy way out on it.
Love that. Love it, Johnny. Saying about Dancing City. I mean that if I remember right, that Dancing City, right, didn't he go from the front? Didn't he make all in that last race? Would that be right, Ian?
Oh, God, now you got me thinking.
Sure?
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure
he's racing prominently. My only worry is Dancing
actually,
City is the
I'm sure he
record
was
of
like
winners
20
from
to
the
1
time.
of 5 runners or something ridiculous. He was like the outsider of the whole field.
Yeah, he
made
pretty much made all. My only worry with that, OJ, is the stat from that race. Winners of Nathaniel Lacey don't tend to go on and win at the festival. I think the last one to do with I put it out, wasn't it? Was Let's Dance, I think it was, that went on to win. Was it the Mayor's Novice? Back in 2014-ish, I think I remember. I mentioned that on the DRF preview, I think.
I think it was later than that. Maybe a little bit.
Further back, that was it.
No, as in closer to now.
All right, might have been 16. And
the only reason I'm is I remember that race because I happened to back Dancing City that day. And it was about 20 to 1. I think it was only about 5 runners in the field, and he just went out and made everything from the front. And I don't know. You wonder, yeah, whether that's replicable.
2017, she won the Mayor's Novice, Matty.
Oh, right, that's what. Well, there you go then.
Right. Okay. So Croke Park all year
Carry on.
long.
Oh yeah, still banging the drum, mate. I'll be banging it even when he probably loses. I'll still be banging the drum.
Alex, an interesting Gidley Park and the Jukebox Man at prices. Ian falling down on High Class Hero, but also interesting
Keep an
Dancing
eye on.
City.
Hmm.
As is Johnny, who, Captain Teague was from the outset of the season, but probably plimping for reading Tommy wrong if it comes to it. But as we say, it's still a massively open race at this point. Okay,
Would anyone give Johnny Hugh a chance in this race?
Yeah, I think he's got a reasonable chance.
I noticed a lot of people on some of the previews have mentioned that Chigorin. I don't know much about that horse. Does anyone know anything about that one? Chigorin?
We talked about it on the Twitter tips video the other day.
There you go, that's where. I think it was I watching that mentioned it. I think it was.
Was it our Twitter preview?
No, it wasn't that one. I did watch.
Matty doesn't watch our stuff.
No, I did. I just don't, because I wasn't on. I actually did watch it.
Right, come on. Okay, and on to the highlight of the festival, the Cheltenham Gold Cup. Galopin de Champ. Everybody on Galopin de Champ?
Yep.
I'm
Go on,
concerned,
Alex has got
OJ.
something to say here. Come on, Al.
I love him. I mean, it's not very often I get a horse that's got a very similar name to me with Galopin. And I do love him.
I know
but
what you're concerned about.
Last year on his fourth run, he got beat. He looked tired, and he's had 3 runs already this year. This is his 4th. I was surprised they ran at the DRF. I don't know. I just wonder if that's going to have left a mark on him. I mean, he should win. He's obviously the best horse in the race, but I don't know. I'd have preferred for him to come into this race fresh. So to me, I can't really put him up, but I will put one up at a bigger price, looking for a place again, and that's the Real Whacker. Yeah. I think he's been trained with this race in mind. Stepped up on every run this year. That run in the Trials Day, the Cotswold Chase, when he finished second behind Capodanno, he was last jumping the last fence and ran past a lot of them. He stays, he jumps. I think what's not to like really, and the fact that they've been trying to get him to peak for this, I think he'll run into a place. And he's 40-1 at the moment, nice each way price.
And as the old saying goes, stays longer than the mother-in-law.
You love it, OJ.
Well, it's funny one with Galopin, isn't it? You know, first run of the season wasn't great. 2 lovely runs. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a little concern that I've got. I still think he'll probably win, but I just don't see how anyone can put him up at the price that he is when he's evens, and yeah, it's just a concern for me. I still think he'll win, but yeah, that's my thought.
And if he does win convincingly, then he'll probably be heading towards heroic status, I would imagine. Matty, are you thinking the same? Is it done and dusted?
I actually haven't had a bet in the race at the moment. I can see Alex's concerns over Galopin de Champs, but he's just a different beast, isn't he?
That little side step.
I'm just having a quick look on the exchanges now, and Shishkin without Galopin de Champs is 5.1. I'll probably say that's a play for me. I think he won't be far away, so I'll put up Shishkin without Galopin de Champs 5.1 on the exchanges.
There's I've read quite a few people who are keenish on Shishkin, so it could be one to upset the boat. Maybe
he's a good horse, isn't he? He's not a bad horse. He was unfortunate in the King George when he didn't fall. He just stumbled, didn't he? After with his foot, I just think, I think that's a fair 5.1 without galloping. I think that's a fair price.
Lovely. So Johnny and Ian both, galloping just wins. Alex is, giving us a big each way shout on the real whacker. Matty looking at Shishkin without Galopan. And so Ian is obviously going to give us Gallopin Deschamps, Shishkin, and what for the TriCast, Ian?
Gentleman's game.
There we go.
God.
End off.
No.
Yeah,
I love that big, beautiful grey.
That's the fourth TriCast.
Gentleman's game.
No chance.
Gandalf.
Won't win, but
Thought you were a Jerry Cologne fan, Ian.
I wasn't galloping shit on him.
Spank this.
Jesus Christ. I put that to bed, that one.
There we go. So that was the Gold Cup. Oh, sorry. I thought you just said Gallopin just shit. So go for it, Johnny. Sorry, mate.
No, I mean, Alex made a good point the other day on Twitter tips about Shishkin, saying he'll probably be better to back him running. Make sure he starts the race first before you put your money on him, just in case. He has been a bit funny this season, hasn't he? But yeah, I mean, I am in the galloping camp. But I just want to mention my each way play, which is B Hewick. Was going well last year, but when he tipped up, he's one that'll definitely get the trip, no doubt about it. And I think he'll be running on at the end, picking up some place money. So yeah, galloping to win and Hewick to get a place.
Love it. Thank you, Johnny. So yeah, we got some nice prices there. Certainly, Hewick and what's the Patrick Neville? Oh my God,
Whacker.
The real whacker. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, chaps. Right, so we've got a couple of races left to go. We shouldn't take us too long. So are we doing the Hunter's Chase?
Briefly, I think.
Briefly. Well, I think what we got at the top of the market in the Hunter's Chase.
Ferns Lock,
and it's on the line, which I know our good friend Jaime was told us that it's on the line, was going to win this hands down not long ago. Go on, Ian, you can expand on things.
No, I do. We was on with Cheltenham that day when me, him, and Scotty all picked it on the line, and that race, give me nightmares. It was like, what was the horse the other year? And Billaway come out and picked it. And Billaway done the similar sort of thing. Oh, it was literally like a arse hair that close to him from Billaway picking him up.
I whacked my ass here.
Yeah. But I like it's on the line as well. I can't say I've studied the race too much in detail, but he battled on well. Let's just say that for me to probably put some pennies on him on the day. But he'll be the one, OJ. But I can't say I've looked too much in the race. Nearer the time, I think.
Yeah. Okay, Matty.
No,
not really interested.
No fucking interest, mate.
I thought that might be the case. Johnny, have you got?
Did Ian say the horse that Billaway caught was called Arse Hair then?
No. I can't think of the name of the horse, and Billaway picked it. Oh.
Yeah.
It wasn't Bartlett, it was the same colours.
Yeah, I can't remember it either. But
we don't need to focus on that anymore.
I'm just going to keep it straightforward. I'm going to stick with Ferns Lock. I've backed him earlier in the season at a bigger price. A lot of people say he won't stay, but I'm not sure where that's come from. We've got to take it on trust a little bit, so I'm going to go with him. Premier Magic, last year's winner, obviously obvious chance as well for me. So, but Ferns Lock, can't get too excited about it.
Lovely. Nobody
Just
cares, Ian. Nobody cares.
Oh my.
So yeah, it's on the line for Ian, Ferns Lock for Johnny, and now we have potentially the greatest stat ever told.
No,
for Alex on how to pick the winner of the Fox Hunters.
Well,
take it away.
Basically, I could not care any less about this race, so I decided to find a stupid stat, and 5 of the last 7 winners have a P in their name. But yeah, I could not care any less about this race. So move on.
But he's gonna be all in on Premier Magic to follow up. Love it. Greatest stat ever. Thank you. And yeah, any people on YouTube who, you know, it is a bit of an ironic stat, that one, isn't it, Alex? You don't really base your betting strategy on
Yes,
No,
he does.
I was
He
being a
always
bit
fucking
facetious.
goes on about it.
Yeah, I
Right.
couldn't care less.
Yeah, let's go. We're going on to I guess this is last
Last
race.
one.
The Mayor's Chase. Matty, go on. No. Johnny,
Not at the moment,
go
mate.
on.
Come back to me in a second.
Yeah, obviously I've been very keen on Dino Blue all season, haven't I? Having got on at
Yeah.
20s early doors again. In
I
fact,
was
actually
going to let
win
you
more.
wrap up here, but
Yeah. I actually would win more on Alex's in this one, but to save face, I want Dino Blue to win. Really, I think she's a better horse this season. Jumps better. Not had many opportunities at 2 mile 4, but she hasn't done bad over it when she did get an opportunity. So I just think she'll be there or thereabouts. Allegory Devassi, very unpredictable. Depends which ADV turns up, doesn't it? So yeah, Dino for me.
Dino Blue all the way for Johnny. We've got to go to Alex next, especially after Johnny's just given him a little nudge.
Yeah,
I know where he's going.
I really don't like Dino Blue. I don't think she'll stay. And I think it could be really testing ground as well. Considering that, I mean, the previous 2 races on the same track would have been over 3 miles. They've gone over that ground twice on both races. Like, it could be really churned up and be a real stamina test. And I don't think that is going to suit Dino Blue whatsoever. I kind of Allegory Devassi. She jumps right. Can't back a horse that jumps right at Cheltenham. Limerick Lace got beat off 140 something in a handicap a few times. Like, no interest.
Got to be by Cocoa Beach.
I hope you see the one I'm thinking of here now.
The one for me, Bride's Hill. That's the one I really fancy. She's really improved this year. Really stacked up her form. Like, jumps better. Last time out at Huntingdon, there was a real runaway leader. I think she was like 40 lengths clear at one point. Bride's Hill reeled her in on her own, basically. And while everything else was under the pump, Keith Donahue was just sat there cruising, basically. Really impressed me. I think she'll beat them. But I would be going each way, because at 8-1, even if she finishes in the first, well, she'll have to finish obviously top 3, which I think she definitely will. But I think she's got a real good chance of winning the race as well. So yeah, Bride's Hill for me.
Lovely. And I must add at this point, when I think the Twitter polls video that I finally joined in on one the other day, and I took Alex's enthusiasm around Bride's Hill. So I've had a little nibble on Bride's Hill, because I
Love it,
that
OJ.
little glint in your eye, Al.
I do
like
really
that.
fancy her. I really fancy her.
I like
And I
that,
hate this
mate.
race normally, but I really fancy
just
her.
eking a bit more out of you here. I like that. And the fact that Matty, I think, has just... I think he may well have reacted to the old Bride's Hill comment there, I think.
Matty's wanking.
Matty, are you off that train? Are you on the Bride's Hill train?
I am. Alex has mentioned her a few times. Keith Donahue was very, very bullish on his chances, I think, the other day on a preview on it. I'm against Dino Blue up at 2 mile 4. I completely agree with Alex on that one. So yeah, I think 8-1, win only, get stuck in.
Ooh.
GSI.
All in on Bride's Hill. Christ almighty. I know what's
Going all in on a Mayor's Chase. This is bad, isn't it?
I know what's going to happen here. Ian's going Dino Blue, but
No, he's not. He's going Allegory Devassi.
Go on a fridge, Ian.
I put her up as an Ante-Post, and as soon as I done that, she did jump like a fridge. She was awful, but she did come out, and I know, granted, over a lower trip at 2 mile on heavy ground, she won and beat Riviere de Tel Mascada. it's so hard because if you look at, we're talking about Dino Blue, some of the horses that she's run against or beaten this season, she's probably the one to beat. But I can understand the guys are saying about Bride's Heel, but I'll stick with Allegory Devassi for my sins. I'll stick with her.
Good on you.
Let's hope she can do it.
Nobody
I think she's going to get sick at the bottom of the hill.
Get sick. She might.
Right. There we go. I think we've done it.
She is a good horse in her own right, to be fair.
Yeah.
She's a good horse.
If they run the wrong way around, she might have a chance.
She's a horse similar to Gaelic Warrior. I can't back going left-handed.
Yeah.
But it's a fair shout. Same with Johnny with Dino Blue, you know. He's been bullish on her all year, to be fair to him.
There we go. Lovely. I think we've made it, lads. It's been epic. It has been epic. And to those of you who've made it this far, thank you for watching. Let us know in the comments if you want us to split the handicap videos up, because we do realise that, just short of 2.5 hours is pretty long, but it's been good. It's been a good chat, and the boys have pulled out some crackers for you tonight, and I, as the presenter, I have no doubt that you'll get some winners off our boys. So from me, massive thanks to Johnny, Matty, Alex, and Ian, because superb boys tonight, superb all season. Enjoy the festival, bet responsibly, and if you enjoy the videos, folks, please share, like, and subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow with our handicaps video.
Yeah, one thing to not forget as well, though. One thing not to forget, OJ, is people, don't just black what we say blind. You can listen to what we say. We're not pro punters, are we? We're just lads that like to talk horses.
No, absolutely.
Just take on board what people are saying and make your own judgment at the end of the day. If it strengthens or weakens what your position is, then do it as that. I mean, we've all got our own ones that we follow, haven't we? We watch other people's podcasts and stuff. And there's some that we just completely go, no, not listening. And there's some where you go, actually, I like that, uncle. Just weigh everything up, and have fun and enjoy the festival.
Absolutely. I'd have to massively reiterate that, because from my perspective, I listen to you guys so much, and I just pick up whatever bits, little things like, we'll go for a big thing. You and Alex both saying, don't back a horse that jumps right at Cheltenham, which seems an obvious one. Things like that you've just got to take on board. Anything, any tidbits, but we hope you enjoy it, people. And,
are we doing naps, OJ?
Oh, are we doing naps? Oh. Yeah, we better add. Go on then. So, non-handicap naps before we wrap it up. We will go to. We'll have to start with the boss man, because the poor bugger's working at 5:30 in the morning. He's unshaven. He's got his Nike on. He's absolutely buggered. We're all in for a bollocking because we've overrun. Boss man, give us your non-handicap nap for the festival.
Stage star, Ryanair.
Nice. Still a nice price as well.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Johnny.
I'm going to throw up a double because they're both short. Ballyburn Supremes for Gino Triumph.
Like that. Love that. Nice combo. Matty.
I'm in a bit of a predicament, because if American Mike was supplemented, I'd put him up, but he hasn't been. So I'm going Predators Gold and the Bear in Bingham.
Thank you, Matty. And Alex.
Salvador Ziggy, National Hunt Chase.
It was either that or Crambo, wasn't it?
No, it was either that or Mez Chase winner.
Right.
Harper's Brook.
Bride's Hill,
yeah. Harper's Brook. I don't know why that was in my head. I was scrolling through some form a second when that came up.
The nap of the week comes in handicaps. It comes in the handicap video though.
He is the handicap king.
I won't be putting him at Harper's Brook. No
No,
chance.
Right.
the nap of the week for me comes in the handicap video.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sorted.
Ziggy.
No.
we're done. Lads, I appreciate all your time. It's been great tonight. Thank you so much. Make sure you stock your fridges up for tomorrow night and we go again. And yeah, 8 days and counting, folks. Enjoy the show. See you soon.